So, I got to do some research. I may have a Mandela effect going on. Yaddle may not have been at the funeral.
I was wondering.
That's what
last week.
I saw that. Someone commented that.
Yeah, I saw that too. But like, I want to say, I swore I saw her there. But now I need someone who has the original VHS tape.
Because of all the editing.
You don't have the VHS tape? Mm-mm. Are you saying that Disney might have snuck Yaddle out of that for continuity's sake?
No, but it has had a number of changes.
Okay.
They have made digital changes like they do to all of them. Like
sure.
When they release the THX version and when they release the 20th anniversary version and when they make little, whatever. So I need someone who has the original VHS tape to watch from the funeral scene forward, specifically in the parade. The parade is where I remember her standing up on the same ledge with Yoda. Bam, 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 bam. In my head, wouldn't that have been funny if it was the Gungans doing it? They just had all these beautiful singing voices. They just sound like fucking doofs when they talk, but when they sing, it's like this beautiful medley. So with that being said, I got to do some research into it. I'm going to hate to admit that I'm wrong on this one. I'm willing to, but I'm going to hate it because I can see it in my mind.
Memories that fuck you, man.
Yeah. So, Chris, you got your coffee first. Joe, how was your nerd week?
Not much, even though it's been 2 weeks. Let's see. I almost done with Alone completely. We're only like one episode out. We're like hadn't watched tonight season 7 finale. It's like 3 hours though, but it's good. The last 2 seasons been like literally in the Arctic. They're 75 miles off of from when life stops. So if you go north for 75 miles, like there's no trees, there's no nothing. Everything dies up there. So like they're right there.
I saw something.
It's fucking amazing. I love this show. Dude.
I saw a guy posted something, and I don't remember. I think it was someone talking about this guy. Basically, he said, me and my friend will, once we find out where you are, we will basically become your support network to help you through this. Basically to cheat.
Yeah.
And we'll split the money 3 ways. I'm like, that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
It's hard though because they do move around.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they've done mostly in Vancouver Island, but they've had that Mongolian episode.
Goddamn Mongolian!
I'm sure it's not hard to find out. I'm sure it's not hard to find out. Where they're going to be.
Like, how are you going to get to the Arctic Circle? Like, that's a problem with right now too. Like, when they need rescue at a certain point, like things ice up. They no longer can be boated out, and depending on weather, what time of the day, if they're in trouble, they could fucking die because they had to get a helicopter out. Some of them like get close to fucking dying.
Yeah, I don't.
It's like no joke.
I don't. That would be the one. Like the thing. I don't deal well with very very cold temperatures.
Yeah,
that would be my.
Like there's no release. That's not like you can have something to look forward to. Now I can be warm for a minute. Like there's no. You just gonna be cold and miserable until you tap out.
You gotta bring 10 lighters, man.
That's right. What's your 3 things? 3 lighters. Brought 3 lighters.
One is 1 bag of 10 lighters.
And the other is one of those trays from the gas station full of lighters. Variety of colors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This one has a paisley print.
Dude, the people that would go in and pick one, I was like, get the fuck out of my way.
Just grab a handful.
God bless.
They're like 99 cents or some shit like that.
Yeah. Like, come on. Let's just get on with it.
But yeah, I'm still loving that show. When this show's over, which is tonight. Well, we're gonna go to Vegas tomorrow. I need to talk to your daughter and make sure like she's coming to feed my cats.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to Vegas tomorrow?
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday is the days we need.
Yeah.
I'll go with it.
What's in Vegas?
Yeah, Mikey. Friend, meeting friends. They're from Twitch. IRL friends from Twitch.
Nice.
She's been here before, and she lives in Cali, so it's closer for her.
Okay.
We're gonna eat buffets. Basically, we're gonna eat buffets for 4 days in a row. I'm gonna come back maybe like probably 7 pounds, literally heavier.
Fucking cold crab legs.
What's wrong with cold crab legs?
What? Ugh.
This guy.
That's all I remember about the buffets in Vegas.
Really?
Like, yeah, because I went and got a plate.
Like Alaskan crab, cold is fine. The long legs.
Fuck no. I mean, I brought back this big old plate of crab legs. I'm talking about everybody was looking at me. I was making a scene.
You and Asian people.
had
That's the only, right? All the Asian people at tables, you see it.
Dude,
it's just legs.
We've been allies for so long, man. Wow. And I cracked one of them bitches and put my fingers on it, and I was like, "What?" I was like, "Oh fuck, I got the cold ones."
No, it's supposed to be cold. It's supposed to be cold.
Hell no, it's acceptable.
You never eat no fucking cold shrimp cocktails, bro.
Shrimp cocktails.
It's
not
the same, dude.
It's not
I think
the
it's the
same
same concept.
It's not even spelled the same, Joe. One spelled CRAB.
It looks and smells about
The other one is spelled SKRIMP.
Sure.
S.
MANE.
Maine. Maine.
Oh man, I'm having a great time
I
already.
have that word Maine written in my notes today.
It's just like sake. You can have cold or hot.
It fucked me up. When I put it, I bite in, and I had this whole plate sitting in front of me, and I was just like, pass.
Oh, yo, there's so much.
Pass.
You just charge you by the pound.
It's a cultural thing. You just don't understand. It's a different dish.
Yeah, I guess. You couldn't get hot ones out there.
It's like fucking asking for tea and it didn't come out iced tea.
Have you?
I was like, no wonder there's fucking earthquakes.
Like
over
the
here.
rapper?
Ice cube in the iced
Like
tea.
the rapper?
Yes, both of them together.
Have you?
One inside the other.
Oh God, no! It's like Human Centipede, but with rappers from the 90s.
Yes, ice cube inside of iced tea to make it cold.
Vanilla paste.
Oh my goodness gracious! So have you guys? And I know when you can go to Vegas, you can play like the coupon games, and you know, I know there's a million ways to get like meals for free and stuff. Have you guys done any of that, or are you just going in and paying for it?
I need a picture of Krista at a slot machine with one of them visors on.
Do you have a visor? Because we don't gamble, but we'll take a picture.
I'll pay for the visor and for the round.
What if we hit the jackpot? That'd be hilarious.
Yeah. That would be great. But the jackpot we had to split. That's a condition.
It's like the lottery tickets, right? But yeah, we don't plan to gamble or drink it up because we don't do that. We might watch like a magic show or like.
There's a lot of circus.
Not the Gathering. I would,
bro.
But Magic, the fizzy fingers, so to speak.
Oh, like up close magic kind of stuff? Or are you talking about like making
stage,
tigers
like
disappear
goddamn
and shit?
Fucking David Shapiro.
Copperfield.
David Copperfield.
What if Dave Chappelle
I saw him live once.
What if David Copperfield and Dave Chappelle did a combo show?
A comedy magic show? I would watch the fuck out of that. I would watch the fuck out of that.
Let me tell you something. David Copperfield flew around my
the stadium.
Yeah.
Maybe I saw you on TV because I watched that on TV.
Maybe. And I was like, man, this dude might have touched it into the dark arts. Something's not right.
Man. Well, there's a lot of Cirque show. I think there's like 4 or 5 Cirque shows out there. If you guys like seeing that shit.
Because we've been to Vegas once before with my grandparents. And we did what my grandma fucking fell the fuck asleep watching Cirque Show. I guess she grew up watching Chinese theaters.
It'd have been great.
Watching what?
Cirque
Show.
I thought you said Sheryl Crow. I was very confused.
It'd have been great if she like woke up and was like, boring.
I mean, there were like fucking people like over our heads. We were pretty front row. That's what I mean. Like I got good tickets.
That's why it would be funny. She's like, boring.
That's great.
And it was like we went to the Asian theme one too. You remember that?
Oh, the Shin. Is that the one that tours around the country?
I have no idea.
There's some like it
was Asian based.
Yeah.
We're like, let's just take my fucking grandparents to watch a fucking Asian based circus show.
I saw.
They're probably like, oh, this shit's not the real deal.
And
I know these people.
And something. There's one other one I saw out there. It was like in water.
That's a lot of different shows now.
Yeah,
I've only seen that one.
Too many to keep up with. Really,
there's like Beatles. There's music theme ones, right?
It's a real bloody circus, if you know what I mean, Joe.
3 ranks and everything.
So we might watch that, but no, we're not doing fucking coupons and shit. I got money. I just buy stuff. That's too much work to like look for coupons. I know people do that. Like
some people enjoy that.
Specifically sign up for certain hotels so you get like whatever bonus. I'm like, I got no time for that, man.
That's fair.
I'm just gonna go for 4 days, 3 days, whatever. Eat
3 buffets a day, and
maybe 2 in the snack.
2 minute snack. There you go. I'm sure there's lots of snacky snack places too.
Yeah,
snacky snacks
and like play some Magic the Gathering.
Nice.
I'm bringing like 3 decks, maybe.
You should just play on the street. You should just set up a card table on the street and start playing.
I want to start playing it in a real card table in a casino.
Hustling.
Casino.
You have to go to one of those casinos like Guess Which Hand.
Casino. I never seen casino.
It's definitely casinos. That's definitely how I say casinos.
Like where, in National Lampoon's Vegas Vacation, like Guess Which Hand.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen that.
It's on brand for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. I think I've only seen Vacation
The classic one.
and
Christmas.
Christmas Vacation.
European, I can take or leave. But Vegas to me it's
up there.
it's funny.
I'll check it out. I like that
Wayne Newton features prominently in the storyline.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed that I haven't seen it.
And the cousin is in it heavy.
Cousin Ed, isn't it?
Cousin Eddie.
Cousin Eddie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gift that keeps on giving.
That's right. He takes him. So to tell the story, Clark blows all their money. So they go to Eddie's place in the desert and start digging up all these holes where he's hold up all this money over the years. And they go to some casino, but it's things like guess which number and guess which hand, and it's not normal casino games.
Yeah.
That's what I was referring to.
Got you. I think that I think it's great that you're gonna go play Magic the Gathering and then gather to watch Magic.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Wait a minute. Magic the Gathering for Magic.
Yeah.
Maybe you could get one of the magicians to play Magic the Gathering.
They cheat. They probably cheat. They probably cards.
They might.
Oh, that's a good point.
I would
You
not.
definitely can't trust them.
Oh, definitely not. But yeah, I mean, this girl was one of the reasons that brought me back into Magic last year.
Yeah?
When she came to visit, I'm like, oh yeah, let me dig out some cards. Oh, I could get a couple more cards to fill out this deck, and then I did the mistake of tallying up
Look at you.
my from just Card Kingdom
Just purchases?
over the last year. Well, since I got back into buying, which is about a year ago.
See, what do you have to gain from that, Joe?
Nothing. Just the fact,
regret.
Just the regrets.
No regrets.
It doesn't stop me, but bro, it's ridiculous to have spent thousands of dollars on cardboard. It's really fucking all the joking aside, it's fucking stupid. You should not spend thousands of dollars on cardboard.
What about plastic? That's molded in a certain
It's
form.
molded though. These are cardboard, flimsy cardboard that are printed, right? You can just get.
Well, there's
that
art.
done.
There's art involved.
There is art, but I'm not sure how much the artist gets paid.
Yeah, and
If it's AI art, though, if it's AI art Magic cards, then what?
And are they trying to express anything with them? This is a deeper question.
That's true. That's true. Actually,
Is it just a gig?
I will get into it in a second, but that comes along with what my nerd week too. But yeah, so when I come back, I'll probably start catching up on anime. I've been itching to catch up on anime.
Yeah, you mentioned that last week as well.
Yeah, because the good ones have been coming out, the ones I actually been looking forward to, and now I'm bro, I'm behind. But speaking of Magic, I've been falling heavily on the shit show that's Magic the Gathering. Actually, as of right now, I think they have a fireside chat today to the head of Wizard. Yes, Wizards. You laugh at them all you want. It's a multi-billion-dollar company.
It's so funny to
right?
me.
It's just
the name Wizard is funny to me.
It's Wizards of the Coast, to be specific. WotC.
Just of the coasts.
Yeah, which coast?
Their powers in Nebraska are worthless.
Probably. I think Wizards have domains, right?
Your powers are weak here.
Fucking what? Gandalf the Grey have no power, but Gandalf the White though, fuck some shit up.
He has white. Never mind.
White. I said white privilege or white power. Which one? Come on with it. He got his white robes on.
Calm down, Kanye. Dude, that dude's going off the deep end, man.
You are saying that now finally?
Yeah, I gotta say, you can't. I'll try to defend him because I love his work and I love some of the kind of fanatical shit that he does. And sometimes I think those things need to go hand in hand. But some of the Hitler shit, you can't escape.
Listen, but no one should be surprised because he said a very long time ago, wait till I get my money right. Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah.
He said that and now he's doing whatever he wants.
Yeah.
But it's a shit show. So much so the head of one of the heads of Hasbro and WotC are having a quote unquote fireside chat to discuss the state of Magic because it's a conspiracy, man.
They're science is destroying Magic. We have to go to the land of man and get Peter Dickinson and bring him back so he can save the world of Magic.
This system on the downside there, right? Science has failed on Mother Earth. Mm-hmm. But so the $1,000 packs came out last week.
Oh yeah.
And numbers have been leaked, who knows if it's true or not, that very, very few has sold. And people have been testing the site when it went live, there's no traffic on it.
It's such a shitty thing.
So now we think they have tens of thousands of this product sitting somewhere. in like Raiders of the Lost Ark kind of fucking warehouse.
bury 'em in the
We don't know what's gonna happen.
Bury 'em in the
And-
desert like ET cartridges.
And fucking on eBay, if you go look, there's usually with a big sales like this limited edition item, the eBay will be flooded and prices will be high. There's barely anything on there, first of all, for buying now. So like for like maybe $1,500. Yet there's a lot of for auction listings. There are like $2,000+ even though buy it now is $1,500. And if you look into it, it's like 2 accounts that's bidding on everything up really high. People are like, are these people who are just into collecting or into investing in the Magic cards wanting to keep these values up, or is it someone from WotC doing this? It's like you can look at like if you were not interested in Magic, but I feel like you would be interested in this.
definitely. What's his problem, man? You know.
Hey man, but it's the same company and the same like shady shit as Pulse. Right. Like, did Unicron really sell?
Yeah,
it's the same shit.
I agree. Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's been very interesting. I've been watching a lot of videos and stuff on that.
That's cool.
Blender, I've been doing Blender. I streamed Blender last week. I just haven't had a chance between like family shit and like work and stuff. But I got back on streaming Blender last week. But I'm getting pretty proficient. I'm pretty much getting faster if I can get on my own way. Like spending. Like I could make a leg in 30 minutes, but I spend like 2 hours on a single tit because I want to make the tit look perfect. And the ass cheeks, I spend hours on the ass cheeks. All right, I'm like, it's not perfect.
Yeah.
Dude, I have that problem too. Like when I'm designing stuff, I'm like, oh, that's a millimeter off.
Yes. And
what are people gonna say? And like nobody's ever gonna even notice that because that millimeter is behind another piece that nobody ever sees behind.
But
that's my brain is broken like that.
But I feel like everyone's gonna notice like if there's like extra dimple in a tit or an ass.
I would definitely call you out.
Right. But like so I'm like on stream you can see me like fucking hovering over this tit and like a 360 degree making it look right.
Now are you doing mirror on this stuff or are you actually hand sculpting both boobs?
Not doing mirror. I mean you because it's actually better if you do asymmetry.
Yeah, because they're not perfectly symmetrical.
Yeah, and the human body, the scope is uncanny valley when it's exactly symmetrical. So what I'm doing right now is just regular symmetry stuff. But when I want to get into the weeds of making things better, I would do the symmetry for the overall scope, and then I'll go in and detail both sides separately. Just like the hair, I'm doing the hair separately. I have an overall shape, but I'm going to turn off symmetry to do the hair.
Nice.
But yeah, love it. It's like decent amount of people watching now. It's like anywhere between 10 and 20 the whole time, which is kind of crazy because I still don't think it's the most fun thing to watch the way I do it anyway. Some people are very entertaining.
Yeah.
When they do stuff, they can make jokes, they can talk. For me, like sometimes I just go quiet and like I said, stare at a tit, slowly moving 1 pixel at a time for like an hour, and I don't know why people are watching that. A lot of conversation about AI art. People keep talking to me about AI art.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I've been following it for a long time now. Like I know of this concept for a long time. Haven't used it myself, interested in it. Maybe even just like for my own art, put my art into the AI and be like, make it better.
So there,
that would be my purpose for it.
Mm-hmm. So I'll just jump ahead and jump in this conversation. I messed around with Midjourney. I'll be honest with you. I had to have Mason like show me how to use Discord. I didn't understand the whole prompt thing. I got it to work now. But I made this for Bobby and I thought I would show it. It's I put Star Wars, all Gary Oldman, and this is what we got. Him with glasses, so it doesn't really work, but you could take that.
Yes.
The thing is, like, people now are like, if I wanted to create a character, 20-something, Middle Eastern, with long hair and face tattoos, black. So I'd make that with a white background, and then I have that character. And then what I learned this week is you can insert images into it as a prompt. So what people are doing, like, they're basically creating damn near comic books out of this. Like, take this character, insert character to, running through a flaming school or whatever. I don't know how that came to mind. Jesus Christ.
That's
What's going on? What's going on with
Where
you?
are you going on? Mid-20s Middle Eastern man on the running from burning school. Hello? Did you just put all that in a sentence?
I'm uncomfortable.
I'm uncomfortable too. I just said it.
You put all that shit together yourself just now. Live.
Hey, what's going on with your AI?
I know, it's crazy. But like I subscribe. It's so Mid Journey. There's a lot of apps that do this, but Mid Journey seems to be the one.
Yeah.
And it's $10 a month for 200 goes, basically.
So much iterations.
Yeah, and that counts like I could take the Gary Oldman, like, oh, you like the upper left one? Well, I can run that again, and it'll give me 4 other versions of that, or I can just upscale that to.
You can just circle certain parts too. I think. Like,
wonder
I
if
like these eyes, and you can just.
If it'll pick up Bobby Skullface in Star Wars.
There's only one way to find out.
He's how many more runs you got?
I got about 100 left.
Bobby Skullface.
I counted them this morning. I found that this morning. Yeah, let me see what we can do.
So like a lot of this conversation has actually been talking about like artists taking money out of artists' pocket and or plagiarism. Like on stream yesterday, one of our regular watchers was like really against AI art. Also because AI is sampling all these artists' art. And well, there's some iffy shit going on. It looks like they're sometimes sampling like medical records that aren't released or something.
Oh, really?
I haven't read the whole article, but it's kind of weird. But at the end of the day, I don't know, man. Like, because you can't argue that artists shouldn't, which I agree, artists shouldn't decrease their prices, right? We often say people sell themselves short. Like, in Trashbox, people were selling dioramas or whatever. Other people were selling, like, way underselling for what they're doing.
Sure.
And we don't want that. But at the same time, on the other side, as a consumer, you only have so much money or willing to spend so much money on art objects. Right? So they don't go hand in hand. So, like, that person is not going to pay for an artist at the real price anyway if they're buying AI or if they're making free AI art. You're not really taking the money out of anyone's pockets. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think, but I think like that just making it right there doesn't. But what you do with it from there, very well could. I think that's what people mean when they say it's taking money out of the pockets. I think, except I guess not always, because you can use it. You wouldn't need to hire a fucking.
For like make a comic book,
or not even a comic book, like a movie designer, like a character designer for a film or a video game or whatever. You may not need that person anymore.
Exactly, you just run it through the AI program. So that too. But there's so many aspects of it. Or there's one person that's like, oh, that's plagiarism when you ask the computer to generate this art in Joe Mad style. Or whatever. I just come with
right.
I hate that guy, but that's my favorite artist. Separate art from the artist, right? But I'm like, no, yes, the AI is smart enough to study his entire body of work at the same time and then distill his style down to a thing, but it's still not his. It's not you're not taking his picture and claiming it as yourself, right?
I think I believe Robert D commented this on some thread I saw. It's like you're commissioning the AI to do the work for you.
Yeah, but my listeners saying like that's like plagiarism, that's stealing someone's style. But I'm like, but we all do.
Well, yeah,
any art is
all
derivative.
influence.
Look at
it's all derivative from somebody else.
Greg Capullo.
I don't.
He took over Spawn at like certain, and it like people didn't even know that,
almost to a fault.
People didn't know that Todd left.
Yeah, and same with Berserk right now. We don't want it to look like Miro left. We want like his apprentice to do his style so much so that it looks seamless. We want that at this point.
Yeah, and the Jim Lee tree is.
Yeah,
I mean, you could feed a family with those with the fruits that it bears.
And my argument was like it goes all the way back to whoever caveman or lady who started painting on the wall. That person who made an image 2D, that everything came from that.
Yeah.
Right?
Last Cow Caves, if you will. That's where it was.
Yeah. So like, I don't care who you are. If you studied art at all, if you looked at art at all to make you interested in art, you are somehow influenced by what you liked. Whether it's Michelangelo, the artist, or Michelangelo the turtle. Yeah. Either or.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. But so yeah, I agree. But I think all that shit is like, it's so. I don't think it's time for an extreme stance on it.
No. That's also my promise. People are 100% this thing is okay and 100% saying it's not okay. Like, you're both wrong.
But I do think we should proceed with caution.
Yes, we need to talk about. We need to come up with a consensus as a society
of how we treat this.
Yes,
that's it.
And and it's a tool. AI is not inherently evil. I mean, it's not sentient as far as we know. Like, it's just a thing that's doing a thing you tell it to do.
Let's not even talk about that yet.
Yeah, it's just a thing that's doing a thing, right? It's not fucking actively trying to steal anyone's work. It's whoever is pressing the buttons.
Yeah.
A couple things. I did run Bobby, Skullface, Star Wars, and a bunch of prompts, like lighting and texture stuff. And these are the 4 things that it spit out. Obviously, it's not
it's
you
cool
as Bobby Skullface, but it's. I mean, it's cool as shit. And you're going to tell me, like, look, if I made a print of this and put it up on Etsy, I mean, is that something what's your thoughts of that? Like, if I today
you're not stealing anyone's work, right?
This doesn't exist anywhere. I've never seen this before.
Like, fucking Midjourney can't get paid, doesn't want to get paid. It's just a fucking program. So if someone's going to get paid, it's you for putting it out for sale, in my opinion.
I do too, but I also think it needs to be honest.
Yes.
It needs to be.
The tool needs to
be transparent.
It'd be transparent. Oh, definitely. Listen, it's an AI generated art.
Right.
I mean, I don't. Look,
but usually we don't see that unless you're on our station on someone's artist.
Joe Blow that's buying, no offense, Joe Blow that's buying art on Etsy may not even know what an AI is. And here's the other side of this. I've stumbled into this other AI. It's you tell it what you want to hear and it writes for you. So I said, describe a holiday scene with Santa and his reindeer. And immediately it sends me this. In a cozy little village nested in the snowy mountains, Santa Claus could be seen walking through the streets, his red suit and white beard, a familiar sight to all the children. His loyal reindeer were with him, their hooves clacking on the frozen ground as they trotted alongside their jolly owner. The snow was falling gently from the sky, dusting the rooftops and trees with a layer of soft white powder. Children could be seen peering out of their windows, eager to catch a glimpse of Santa and his reindeer. As he walked, Santa would occasionally stop to chat with the villagers, asking about their holiday plans and spreading cheer wherever he went. The air was filled with the sound of laughter and excitement of the season. It was a truly magical scene.
That's beautiful. I can't write that.
Could you imagine?
It's very dangerous.
Right. But let's say
no one is going to know that a person didn't write that.
Let's say I need to write. I need to write about Benjamin Franklin.
That's the question.
That's the question. We want it to matter, like gut feeling wise. We want it to matter, but does it at the end of the day?
I think it.
Because if you don't
think
know,
the implications can matter.
Because
I think it could, like, you know how, like, Lex Luthor, he doesn't follow me
as a real person, not Lex Luthor.
Follow me. I'm cooking here. Lex Luthor doesn't really hate Superman. He hates the implications of Superman. Mm-hmm. He hates that, like, why should firemen train harder in Metropolis when they know they have this god that's going to come in and literally blow this fucking fire out? Why should the police go to target practice when they know that this guy is going to come and save? Like, is he inadvertently robbing us of our ambition
and growth and evolution?
Correct.
Right.
So, like, I think this has the potential to do the same, where creative people may approach this and fuck with this, and it may end up taking over where they could go creatively.
But, like, memes hasn't stopped comedians, right? I mean, it's a stretch. It's a stretch, but we still have comedians, and we still appreciate comedians.
That's true, but I think you can make the argument that memes have kind of stopped comedians in a different way.
Yeah. And who knows if these memes are AI generated? If you want to talk about conspiracy theory, right? Mm-hmm. Why is there no AI farm where they're just pumping out memes?
Yeah, we just don't know anymore.
Robert D works for one of them, I'm sure.
Well, you know,
it's a human hand.
AI.
Something someone brought up is, you know, if you're a musician and you need an album cover, are you going to commission somebody to do that anymore? Or are you going to type in what you want?
And like, it's always gray area, right? What you a GarageBand? Well, back in the day, you were GarageBand, not using GarageBand. You could be a GarageBand using GarageBand.
Right.
And you don't have a dime in your pocket.
Well, it's why rock is dead.
Is it?
Because of GarageBand?
Well, no, well, kind of.
Yes.
You know, like, if you're a 13-year-old kid and you've got to learn how to play an instrument, you got to find fucking 3 to 4 other people to learn how to fucking play an instrument, and then you got to find a place first. You got to afford an instrument. Mm-hmm. Then you got to find a place for everybody to come together and practice.
Yep.
Then you got to find equipment to record all of the instruments into, like, tracking wise, or you can just use your GarageBand that comes free with your MacBook and start making music on your own immediately.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's why rock music has kind of taken a fucking nosedive over the past.
Well, I mean, I think there's situations where people are using GarageBand and other programs to create rock music, and then they're performing it live.
No. Like I'm saying, if you check rock music on a weekly basis, the amount of releases that get released are minimal. Whereas, like, if you check alternative, which I think is more so almost what you're describing, their releases are through the roof because it'll be one guy creating it in-house. So, like, the genre itself, but like rock and roll bands have pretty much. I mean, not to say that not to say that there's a gravestone for it, but it is a very stagnant genre currently.
It's two separate things. I mean, obviously, people as humans, we still like gatherings and enjoy live performances. So that will fuel the continual existence of physical musicians, right?
Well,
even though sometimes you don't
need it. You don't need a music. You know what I mean? Like
if you just watch a DJ sometimes, right?
Yeah, or just watch a vocalist and have the music play on a fucking.
Oh, you mean like every rap concert ever?
Yeah. Well, aside from the Roots.
Well, yeah.
So what they also comes to argue then, like, how necessary is something that no one cares about?
So what is the necessary thing?
Like, I know we've moved on. Well, we're going to get back to art, but like because we're on this music thing, like, if no one appreciates the ability of someone to play a guitar anymore live with their hands, does it matter if it exists anymore?
Well, I think people do still appreciate that.
Yes, but I'm saying, like, but we're talking about how live music is.
I miss it. You know, I miss rock bands. Like, I miss, like, the glory days of rock bands.
Right, but I'm saying as a whole, as like society as a whole moving forward, if society as a whole moving forward doesn't care whether they see live music being performed anymore, does it matter that it exists? Like, if people are just happy watching a vocalist, well, like, it seems like we need vocalists, right?
But they don't need a face, though.
You don't even, like, Death Clock, fucking Gorillaz, fucking Hatsune no Miku, like, they're not fucking real people.
No, the last one.
Well, I mean,
is not.
so Gorilla Mason went and saw Gorillaz in DC here recently.
Slipknot.
He went with his friends, and it's two dudes. It's not, they're cartoon characters, but it's like two dudes that make the music.
But right, that's what I'm saying. Like,
and they performance wise, it's those two dudes with some backing stuff. It's not obviously, you know, the cartoons or whatever.
But at some point, like, I feel like there'll be less and less people who cares whether someone performing. Like, performing.
When you say performing, do you mean live?
Live.
But even aside from that, even like the recorded record, you can tell a synthesized music over a live musician.
Do we need? Like, I like it personally myself. I'm just, as a discussion. Does society as a whole
both.
Need it?
I like both, but I just think that, like, I don't know. Does it need music at all?
Well, we're talking about music, right? We want music. Everyone wants music.
Right. So then I think that
that's why there's no rock band. There's no one, like, learning instruments or whatever, but they're still making music on GarageBand.
So I think that but a lot of it really isn't rock anymore because it's harder to make.
Yes.
You know, so like it's this alternative stuff, which is great. You know, but it's like I think that if you were to poll, and who the fuck knows? You know, but if you were to poll the country and everybody had to answer, would you like to see?
I love to poll the country.
Would you want to see, you know, musicians go away and recording music? I think the majority would say no. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't
definitely. Know. And but back on the art and being full disclosure wise, I don't know if people would care. Right?
Yeah, that's the other question.
And also, like I said, I need to go on an artist page where you see a picture and on the side, like, in this medium and this resolution or whatever. Most people don't actually look at that anyway. Right. Like, does it matter when you're selling a Mid-Journey picture versus? And also, how if you show, like, that picture that you show me, I can probably duplicate it exactly manually.
Sure,
but that did it.
It took me a minute,
like nanoseconds.
Yeah.
Right.
So and we've got layers here because remember I just read you that Christmas prompt,
which I can never rate,
and now I dumped that into the Mid-Journey, and I got 4 different versions of that photo.
Scene.
So if I was going to sell one of these,
like Thomas Kincaid I
would probably take that one and upscale it,
and then put the story next to it.
Demeaning, and put the story beside it,
and then you can have a children's book.
Yeah, but it's just like,
bro,
right? It's crazy.
You don't need to pay anybody to illustrate your children's
you don't.
But there is something about all of that seems hacky to me.
It does.
To be honest.
Same, gut feeling wise, but that's why I'm trying to explore whether it's a gut feeling thing.
I still think it's a hack, but does that ultimately matter? I think that's up to the consumer.
Exactly, because if you're just looking at the product by itself without whoever's behind it, like, is the product good?
Me and my
You want
man
the product.
AI got more in common than just balling and rhyming.
Get it?
More in common.
One thing I am happy about is I didn't delete the AI hashtag for the Nerd Rage show, so it'll be in there for this week when I go to upload this episode.
Nice.
One less thing I got to do.
Nice.
And lastly, I actually commissioned art for the first time in my life.
Really?
From who?
From a 40K artist I've been following on.
Give me those prompts.
Plug them.
Give me those prompts and let's see what I can come up with.
Yeah, let me see.
Sorry.
That would be the fucking.
But you can though. You can just type in and do this in this guy's style, and the AI will sample all of his art.
So I've got
It's
it.
still his style.
And then that dude just loses $1.
But what if it's a dead artist or something? How do
So
you
I
feel
made
about
this
that?
model. You've seen this. I made this model maybe 15, 20 years ago, and I never had art of it done, and I commissioned him to do art of it. This guy is named Orniris, Orniris, on Instagram. He does great art in general, but he does a lot of 40K art.
If you follow him, send a message or comment on one of his pictures and say you heard about him.
It looks like just legit 40K art.
Oh, nice.
Right.
So
you're talking
and
about-
it was not expensive. It was for this $100.
Yeah.
To me, that's not expensive.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
I get out of it.
So you're talking about in the style of or whatever, and that's a prompt people use. So I did Santa sitting on a throne, Frank Frazetta style.
That
And
is
that's what I got.
definitely
the only
that
thing.
is definitely Santa.
The
Frank
hands are
Frazetta
fucked
style.
up. He's got 2 thumbs on one hand, and
Yeah, the
you know,
hands.
Because-
and that'll go away.
The eyes too. I've noticed. Like
The
I
eyes.
think the AI understands that like faces have eyes, but I don't think that it understands the concept that like it needs to look at focus on something
Yeah.
because they're often like looking in different
wonky
directions.
donkey.
So I did this one. It's Tim Curry as Beetlejuice. I thought it came out really good.
I saw it.
Yeah, I showed you guys that. But his eyes are like he's got like 2
Wonky.
pupils.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not quite looking in the same direction.
Listen, this is version 4.
Right.
What's next, right?
Where do you see Midjourney in 5 years? But I mean, that's kind of a
I see
creepy question. It's
full-
funny, but
Yeah,
we don't
yeah,
know.
no, yeah, right.
That's the fucking thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, but just the concept of being a program being able to distill blanks art style because style is a thing. I don't know. It makes the human touch a little colder to me.
Agreed.
I'll be honest with you. This all kind of gives me the creeps.
And I don't like that.
but I like understanding. I think it would be creepier to me if I didn't understand it, and that's why I've kind of delved into it because I want to understand exactly how this process works. So when they do come and say, "Hey, we're taking over," all right, my robot overlord, I'm happy to serve you.
I've been waiting for them for 20 years, but I mean, it's like I understand how that works, but the concept that a human and artist style, which is something ephemeral, something that's like vague, like something that can't be touched to me, right? There's something that can't be explained. Style, it's subjective. That a machinery can capture style.
And listen, guys, I talked about this a little bit. I've taken.
Just real quick, the way you say style, there was this Asian comedian in the 90s.
Oh God,
He was his name. I don't think it's his real name, but it was Tai Mashu.
It could be, man. You don't know.
He was funny as shit though. But he used to do these like pseudo rap records. And he would always come on and be like he would do like ad libs in the beginning. He'd be like, "Hey man, let me borrow my Bud Light." And then he'd be like, "What's up, everybody? Today I kick it for you a little freestyle." He's fucking great though. Shout out to Tai Mashu.
so I dumped pictures of my dioramas into some of this just to see. I don't know, just to see what would it spit out, and some interesting stuff. I think I'm going to be able to pull some context out of here. Some of the design
It would be cool
cues.
to do some of the foliage stuff.
Yeah.
Foliage. I always say
Or-
foliage.
or foil.
I
Gold
always
foil.
say foliage.
Don't spoil.
And what I
the
mean
foil.
is foliage.
I think you.
I swapped the letters on it.
I and L, right?
Yeah. That's what's going on with my AI. Is that it for you,
Andale,
Joseph?
mommy.
That's it from my
AI.
Christopher?
So yeah, I've been doing the Midjourney thing. The next package is $30 a month for unlimited. They do throttle you after a certain amount.
Throttle me.
Yeah. But I'm trying to throttle myself to only do so many a day, so I don't just sit around. I try to think of if an idea comes up or I see something on TV that I'm like, oh, let me try that.
Throttled the fuck
Instead,
out of myself.
there you go.
Every day, multiple times a day.
White Lotus. Are you up to speed with White Lotus?
I am.
Wow. So
let me ask you. There's 3 main storylines, right?
there is. Well, hang on real quick.
Okay.
My wife decided she didn't watch season 1 with me, and she just kind of was in the room when I was watching. I want to say episode 3 or 4. She's watched it since then, and I've kind of caught her up on what she missed.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, there's 3 main storylines, right? There's the 2 prostitutes,
Yep.
right, and their situation. There's the 2 couples.
Yep.
And then there is the old lady with the young handler,
her assistant.
her assistant,
Right, and then there's also Christopher Moltisante's family.
That's true.
Which I guess, yeah,
Yeah, but that's true. That's fair. So let's say that's
there's 4 really.
Which is your favorite?
Probably, I'm probably going to say the couples.
Mine too.
Because of the tension.
Yeah, mine too.
But I will tell you, careful there. Don't fall backwards in your chair.
Let's go squat on that thing.
I remember in first grade, I was new to the school, and I leaned back in my chair and fell over, and the entire class at once said 5 minutes, and I had no idea what that meant. But they took 5 minutes off your recess if you leaned back too far and fell out of your chair.
Oh man, the fall is punishment enough.
Shout out
the
to
embarrassment,
first grade.
right? Yeah.
That's fucked up. Yeah. Memory sticks with you.
Yeah.
So Stifler's mom,
Yeah. That's the one I'm most curious about.
So my wife called it when she meets up with the gay guy, and he's telling a story about the cowboy. She says, "I bet you that's her husband." And what did we find out in this last episode?
Yep.
The whole thing's a fucking setup.
Yeah.
Whole thing's a setup. But the amount of tension this show can create,
I know it is uncanny.
Is like walking like when she walks in and sees dude railing the old guy, and I'm like, I mean, I called that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I called that up
that
front.
music.
And they play the same music all the time. It's so haunting. That show is.
Yeah, it's good.
And it's 9 episodes. I was hoping it was 6 just because I liked how compact the first.
Yeah.
But it's 9 episodes, so we got 3 more after
Yeah,
this.
it's good.
But yeah, that's
Strong recommend.
highly recommended from that. Let's see. The Blockbuster. It's a show on Bobby. You may have heard of it. It's Netflix. Yeah, Randall Park's the lead in it.
I canceled that a couple months back.
Yeah.
I remember it.
I will say that I watched 2 episodes of it, and
It doesn't. I seen clips of it. It's not.
well, here's the
good.
It's not really. Here's the funny thing. Like the pilot episode, we're watching it, and there's 7 people at work at this Blockbuster. Trust me, you never had 7 people there at once. Unless it was,
you're too close to the source.
I know
that's a problem.
that was a problem. But here's what this story is. It's insert small failing business, and insert clever ways they're going to try to keep the business alive. Mm-hmm. So it could be Mom and Pa's hardware store. It could be a record store. It could have been, an AI art shop or whatever. And they're just using Blockbuster as the prop. Mm-hmm. So I watched 2 episodes. It's not great. It does have, what's the comedian's name?
Yeah.
The guy, what's his name? He plays in the new Spider-Man movies, he plays the teacher. It's a black guy. He's a comedian. Shit.
It won't make
JB Smoove. That's his name.
Won't make any
You don't know who he is?
No clue.
Okay. He's been in lots of stuff. He's in it. And I like Randall Park overall. It's been entertaining. I don't know how much more of it I'll watch because
It seems.
I'm too close to it.
The style
really
seems
am.
very dated.
It kind of is. I've been watching on it's on Vice, but somebody's posted them on YouTube. It's Tales from the Territories. I've mentioned this before about these old wrestling territories.
Yes.
People telling stories. So I watched one about Portland, which the only person that you would know was Rowdy Piper came out of Portland.
Oh, I do know him.
Yeah, of course you do. And they did one about Polynesian Pacific wrestling, which was based in Hawaii, which The Rock's, yeah, you're right, that Rock, his grandparents owned this promotion, and that's kind of been the backdrop for the Young Rock show, which is a hit on NBC. It's funny you say that. I was actually using a wrestling promo last night. And they've both been good. They've been entertaining. I watched one about Florida Championship Wrestling too. That was great. I just really enjoy stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know the Pebble Rock thing. There's like this. My dad had a buddy whose like nickname was Black Cat. Like everybody called him Black Cat. And his son, who was like I was friends with, He's the one who passed away last year around this time. But everybody called him Cat. And then his son, people call Kitty Cat.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
That's awful. Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man.
Oh, that good.
Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're watching it with Mason.
I'm watching with Mason. Yep. And wow. It's really fucking good.
Yeah.
It is really fucking
is?
good. Yeah.
It's just.
So I don't want to spoil anything.
I
but
know. I've read the whole thing.
Okay, well, you've already read it. Well, I didn't realize, like, after, like, the first half of the first season, literally almost all the characters that you've grown attached to get killed.
Yes.
Like, is that a very anime thing? To,
No, but some
pull you
It's
in?
not abnormal in anime.
Yeah, there's
Or
like
Asian storytelling.
let's say there were this team of devil hunters is what these people are. They're hunting devils. Although some of them have a devil, that's how he has a chainsaw and other people.
Have any grown young?
Not yet. But like,
the devil's grown young.
let's say there's 6 people on this team. There's 3 left, and 2 of them you thought were dead. And like, there's one part that's kind of heartbreaking. The way you get these devil powers often is you give up part of yourself. So this girl has given
Soul.
up. Right. So she's given up her eye to have the devil's hand, and she's trying to save this other person. And she's like, the devil says, what do you want? She's like, I'll give you everything if you give me everything. And this girl literally just disappears as this devil is trying to fight for her. But then this other girl pulls her devil out and eats her devil, and she basically died for nothing. And it's like, wow,
Eat my devil.
it's kind of heartbreaking.
No, it's
like,
no,
damn
it's
it,
good.
I'm
Like,
getting.
I loved it.
It was kind of slow.
Till the end, I just like the end let me down.
Don't speed.
It's not that it's not good. It's just like sometimes, man, it's about the mid journey and not about the mid ending.
Yeah. But I'm enjoying that. I think it's like 5 or 6 more episodes.
But no,
of
it's
that.
good. I mean, that's
I'm
why I
enjoying
read
it.
the whole thing. Like, I don't read much, and I don't read all of something much. So, in order for me to have read the whole fucking thing,
Yeah.
I did enjoy it quite a lot.
I
Yeah.
don't read much,
But you read,
but I know I read you.
But I left you on red.
the Christmas with the Cranks. That's what you read. That's
Yeah.
what you read.
Not Coruscant
but
Nights.
not Coruscant Nights though.
But Christmas, I'm gonna find out what this is.
What if Coruscant Night has a Christmas story hidden in there somewhere?
It does.
It does. I'm sure.
Shh, don't tell him.
Yeah, Darth Vader's heart grew one size bigger. Darth Vader's actually in that story. So I kind of in the Star Wars bag, and I watched a couple things.
Skipping Christmas was the name of the book.
Okay, that tracks.
Yep,
and I believe I remember seeing it based on a story called. I think that makes sense. We're finished with dioramas for the year. Congratulations to us. Everything's shipped.
Yeah, dude. A little bit of this.
Yeah. So I had a couple grind out days over the weekend. So I was like, you know what? I've been wanting to watch Obi-Wan again. So
Bobby hates it.
I binged Obi-Wan, and I will tell you, this is an interesting conversation because I know we've talked a lot about the pace at which we watch things and the way we digest things. Obi-Wan is better as a binge, much better in my opinion. Did you watch it, Joe?
I binged it.
Okay. What did you think? I mean, forgive me for backtracking.
I enjoyed it overall, but it some of it is too fan servicey, and some of it is just not congruent to like the rest of the timeline, stylistically.
Right.
It's just like it became very anime, which I enjoy, but like the rest of the series isn't, so you can't plug it in.
Yeah, I can see that.
Even between the prequel trilogy and original trilogy, there's already a little disparity there, but you can kind of explain it away with fucking Obi-Wan being an old fuck at that point. But yeah, it's too much because you see nothing remotely close to this basically anywhere else.
Yeah.
Maybe Clone Wars, other than Clone Wars. Even in Clone Wars is not to that extent.
So I like, I think Andor to me made me maybe look at Star Wars from a little different perspective. The rebellion, right? Because now we know some of the, it's not just Princess Leia and these random people. It's we are getting the groundwork for this. And to me, that's super interesting. So I was like, I want to go back and watch some of these post-prequel, pre-original trilogy. So in between the 3 and 4 pocket.
Let's just call that era. Let's call it the Dark Times.
The Dark Times.
Is Rogue One the Dark Times?
Well,
is Endor the Dark Times?
Yeah, because like it's like what Obi-Wan says, right? Like before the dark times, before the Empire.
Okay, so
I thought you were speaking
That's
metaphorically, as in we don't want to go there anymore.
No. Like let's refer to that era as that.
The dark
I mean, in it that may be my favorite time in Star Wars, if I'm being honest.
I mean,
but,
when the Empire is,
right.
It could be if I could get some fucking decent material out of it.
So
I mean, you got Endor and Rogue One.
So I watched.
Yeah, they're great.
We watched a couple. I watched Rogue One. I finished watching Andor for the third time, and then I watched Rogue One. And it's
Rebels?
just you just catch so much more little nuance now. And what was the other? Oh, like the best scene is when Jyn Erso's like, I don't know what she says, but Andor says something like, "I've been in this rebellion since I was 6 years old." That holds so much more weight now because you know literally what this man's been through since he was 6 years old when they bombed this planet or strip mined this planet or whatever they were doing there.
Yeah.
And then I watched Solo, which I know is not a lot of people's favorite film.
I like it enough.
I don't mind it.
I don't hate
but
it.
it is.
It's a villain issue. That movie's a villain issue.
Yeah.
If it had a stronger villain that looked cooler, that was more involved.
You don't like Darth Maul?
That was more involved in the story, it would have been a better, because that guy is fucking perfect.
Yes, it's great.
Surprisingly
He's great.
perfect.
Yeah.
And also fan service. He has like fan servicey issues. But I still like. There's very few Star Wars things specifically since 9 that give me those Star Wars feels. Solo gives it to me when him and Chewie sit down at the Falcon for the first time, when they get the co-pilot out and Chewie sits down and they both put on the headsets and like my fucking hair's going up my arms now.
And he
like,
says, "How do you're 150 years old?
you look great."
Yeah.
And then they have a really awkward, awful fucking scene of them trying to get out of that thing, which sucks. But but sitting there in the Falcon was great. And I love Enfys Nest. I love a lot of that.
So
shit.
I mean, obviously
I would give the movie a B.
I enjoyed the movie, and listen, I know it was, it ended up being a financial train wreck because of, basically having to reshoot the film. And man, I want to see that. I want to see what the fuck those two dudes did.
Yeah.
Lord and Peter, whatever their
Snyder
name.
Cut.
Yeah, the Snyder. I don't know if they call it that. Maybe that'll come
It's
up.
just my name now for everything.
Everything.
that gets like the fucking corporate treatment.
Sure. So I've enjoyed that. And
JoJo Part 6 just dropped completely. Finally, the last part.
Mason said that's the first time he's ever cried at an anime. Is that
Has he watched anime, or he's just fucking stone cold?
I don't know.
Anime makes me cry more than real movies does.
Not me. I mean, it makes you cry in a different way, Joe.
Maybe. So,
Jaina, please turn this shit off. I know it's your birthday. God damn. I'm turning this shit the fuck off. If I gotta look at her eyes get fucking,
I don't know what she's watching.
they all do it. They all. And the camera.
Oh, you mean like an episode of Dragon Ball where they talk about fighting for 30 minutes?
Yeah, well, that too.
For the times 3 episodes.
Yes,
before the
before
fourth
that.
episode.
Jaina went to a movie theater this week to see a fucking anime.
Oh, what's up?
Actually, it was kind of like fucking Laura, God bless her soul, like fucking nervous wreck. But like, so Jaina bought tickets. I reimbursed her, but with her money that she earned at work, and then bought tickets for Selena because she wanted her to see it with her, and bought the tickets like online, like with her little card and all that shit, and then like we provided transportation. And then I gave her, because I don't have no fucking idea what shit costs anymore. I gave her $70, and I was
Bottling.
Well, I was like, look, get snacks and shit, like live it up, have a good time, and then give me the change. And I was like, and take the ticket money out of it as well. Well, they went and saw Quintessential Quintuplets.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I mean, they loved it. They loved it.
That's
and,
good.
But Laura was like, oh, I haven't heard from them. I'm like, look. They're going to be okay. They're in a safe place. They're going to go see a movie. They're going to call us when they're done with the movie, and we're going to go pick them up. Like, they're going to be fine. She's like, but it's anime. And I was like, good point, fucking weirdos. I didn't have it.
Yeah, but the anime weirdos probably were too nervous to talk to anybody anyways.
Yeah, but if there were ones, they'd probably be into Quintessential Quintuplets.
I don't even know what that is.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
It is. You know, and Kelly's gone, taking Charlie to see some One Piece movies and stuff, and it's just like it's such a weird.
Red just came out recently.
It's just such a weird way they roll out that stuff, and I guess it's just a way to get it to the American audiences.
In America's weird.
It is weird. Speaking of Japanese things, this has been happening all year, but Wave 3 of the new Mario Kart DLC came out yesterday.
Oh,
we got 8 new tracks.
Nice,
and even more. You know, we played the tracks. They're a lot of fun.
How's the beats?
The beats, dude.
We played the tracks.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna tell you that they got some banging music, man. We turned on the sound bar and went to town. But they changed a functionality that I've been asking for. I'm sure they've heard my voice.
Sure.
Now your items.
We do chart in Finland and shit. So
that is right.
That's where Mario Kart tracks are made.
They got friends there.
Yeah. So if when you're playing Grand Prix, you play whatever the rules are. But if you're just like, hey, we want to race. We want to do 8 random courses. Well, you can go in, you can pick normal items, frantic items, and you can pick a couple of different things. They have it now where you can pick, I just want green shells and lightning.
That's all.
Bro, we had so much fun last night. We would do things like we did ghosts, lightning, and stars.
What the fuck?
So basically, you had to try to constantly keep a star, so the lightning didn't get you. And when you and you could steal a ghost, it would steal a ghost, and then randomly the ghost would bring a mushroom. Although we didn't ask for mushrooms in the prompt, the AI is broken. But that's been a ton of fun. Just coming up with
issues in games have often been
coming up with ways to use that, and we think the ghost functionality, because it makes you invisible, and then it also steals an item from somebody else.
Yes,
I think that's like the key to success in figuring out the best silly thing to do. It's a lot of fun.
Piggyback on Japan as well.
Hey yo, I'm done by the way. So
okay,
piggyback away.
This is a good segue then. So I've been watching these documentaries recently. Long story short, I was in a conversation and somebody was talking about the Korean War. And I pretty much had to do this. And Chris, you can describe it for the listeners.
Bobby has pursed lips. If I was an AA bot writing this, this man has pursed lips and looks very confused. It's almost a Joker-esque smile. His head is bobbing back and forth.
And I realized I don't know shit about the Korean War.
Nobody does.
So I was like, you know what? I don't like not knowing shit about shit. So
really?
Yeah. Well, on shit that I do find like comes up in my life in conversation.
How often does Korean War come up in your life?
Wars come up in my life a lot. So like, I was like, I'm gonna learn about this shit. So I watched a bunch of documentaries.
You immediately went to YouTube, right?
Yep. And I watched a bunch of documentaries about it, and it was kind of eye opening. Like, 'cause I had no fucking idea. You know, I couldn't even have told you when it was.
Nobody
knows
about it.
I know it's like somewhere after World War II and somewhere before Desert Storm. Like, I knew it exists in there.
It was in
like Vietnam?
It was in the 50s.
Yeah.
Early 50s.
And it was in the 50s.
A couple interesting things about it. There's one, like, there's this battle. It's called, like, the Chosen something. Like, basically, and I like, forgive me, I kind of speak in abstract generalities, so people be like, that's not the numbers, and that's not the, you know, your details are all wrong. Forgive me, I don't speak about things that way. But these fucking Marines were going into these mountains to mop the floor with these Koreans that they'd been pretty much doing in the war. And what they didn't know was that China had now started backing North Korea with people. And there was all these Chinese that were in the mountains kind of waiting to ambush these Marines. And the Marines fought them, and they started like retreating because they just had too many heads. The Chinese, just too many heads.
It's just that's how they work.
Correct. And so they had to retreat. As they're retreating, they're still fighting and like picking up bodies of their comrades and like putting them on like wagons and shit or whatever. Not wagons, but like transport units and backing out. And like numbers are arbitrary to me, right? But it was like a couple hundred Marines lost their lives, which awful, of course. But it was like thousands of Chinese that they killed in the process. Like, and there's like this famous quote by this like officer that was there. That was like, "Got good news and bad news, boys. The bad news is we're surrounded. The good news is we got targets at every angle."
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I was like, God damn.
The big difference there is you had Marines, which are trained fighters, and more than likely you had farmers with guns.
Correct.
On the other side.
So anyway, fun fact about all that relating to Japan was there's this one documentary I was watching. It was talking about the differences in culture between Korea, China, Japan around the time. And they were saying how the Japanese culture is so infused with American culture. And the American culture gets a little bit of the Japanese culture as well, but it comes down to occupation. That Japan was occupied by American military for so long that like it's common in Japan for Japanese people to say okay. It's just like it's part of the lingo because the cultures have fused in manners from occupation.
I actually caught that the other day in something. I was watching something subtitled. It might have been Chainsaw Man. They said okay.
But it's also with the amount of military people that come home or get relieved of duty or whatever the fuck, retire. That's the reason why we say, like, that's the reason why sayonara sucker and all that shit is because there's Japanese shit that gets infused in our culture.
I say that all the time.
Just fascinating. You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that is of interest to me. Sociological stuff always interests me.
I mean, that's why I grew up so Western, because Hong Kong was not occupied. I guess occupied, but owned by British.
They're on the west side.
For like 100 years.
Hong Kong Kung Fu movie?
Hong Kong Fooey.
That's what Robert D kept saying?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, Hong Kong Kung Fu. Yes.
And I was like, man,
he hates Shang-Chi.
What's the name of that giant gorilla it lives on an island and then they take it to New York? He's like, King Kong. I was like, well, why the fuck is he King Kong? And that's Hong Kong.
Optimus Primal?
Yeah.
Dude, I watched your video on that. I watched your video on that.
So I got a couple of weird stories. Let me cover the content first. So I started watching Willow. I'm struggling.
I heard it's not good.
I'm really
I heard the trailers are really good.
Somebody said it is like if the CW made I haven't watched it.
Dude, so you don't even get to Willow until the end of the second episode. And the characters that you have to deal with prior, they're just not compelling. So it's like I've got 2 hours of my life devoted to these people I could give a fuck less about.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I wrote, and I don't know why I wrote this like a Donald Trump tweet, but I wrote, Willow, taking forever, poor choice to get to him so late, boring.
Bro, perfect. Well, 3 and 3, we got one more episode you have to sit through now.
Yeah.
And we'll see where we'll go from there.
So Guardians, the fucking
Trailer or Christmas? One of the
Christmas.
Okay.
I liked it. Christopher was right.
How long was it?
I think an hour or something.
Really? Wow.
So Christopher
That's the whole ass thing.
If you remember last week, he said Bobby's either really going to love it because of all the Christmas, or he's going to hate it.
Yeah.
He was right, and I loved it. But I know what he meant when he said I could have hated it. But so it's goofy, right? But it's kind of goofy in all.
Guardians has always been a little bit goofy.
Yeah. So it's goofy. It's on the extreme side of their goofiness. Extreme. But it's in the right vein for silliness with a Christmas movie.
Yes.
And it still kind of works. So like it ties into like it does, not that it forgives it for me because I still have an issue with it, but tying in the Footloose with Kevin Bacon and Peter Quill and the dance that saves the world and Guardians of the Galaxy, it does help that for me.
Wow, that's big. It doesn't fix it.
Doesn't fix it.
But it helps because you hate
but
that
it
shit.
Helps
you
it.
Fucking hate it.
And then I say I need to watch Guardians again because it may have a whole new impact on me now.
Wow, that's surprising for like an hour Christmas thing.
But I did like
I
it.
didn't even know existed.
Yeah, I also heard that James Gunn, he actually really valued doing this because he found Guardians 3, which we're going to talk about here shortly, to be heavy, like a heavy movie.
The trailer looks heavy.
And he said that he was shooting this in between, like on those sets, which makes a lot of sense because
everyone's already
you can
in
use the
there.
budget.
Yeah.
You can, it's all.
That's perfect. I was wondering how did they did a whole hour thing.
Smart. But he said like it was like this levity that he kind of needed to kind of get through, which I thought that was interesting. We watched Rudolph, the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
The Rankin Bass? The stop motion?
Yes.
That's Rankin Bass.
It's fucked up. So I'm reading my notes. So I said this out loud because I don't know the whole thing about Herbie and being a dentist. And I was like, if you don't get your ass back in that toy factory and give up these dentist dreams, I said it out loud. But it is kind of fucked up.
It's been said that him being a dentist is a metaphor for him being gay.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. So here's a weird thing that happened. Oh, real quick, fun family story. Jaina totally. So I watched these military things with Korean War, and then I found this channel. I should shout them out, but I can't remember it. I'll try to do it for next week. So I'm still gonna be watching this shit. But it's like war through the worlds, or you know what I mean, War of the Ages, or like it's like
Fighting around the world.
Yeah, it just covers like all these conflicts and shit. You know, so I watched this other one. I'm halfway through it on the Iran-Iraq war, which is fascinating too. So anyway, Jaina heard me watching it.
You know, there's some like getting the dad territory. I remember as a kid seeing my dad, just dads watching History Channel and war shit. Like that's fucking lame.
Yeah, there's the way it says once you turn 40, you have to begin to watch war documentaries.
Yeah,
so
I guess so.
You're on brand.
I'm a little late, but yeah. So Jaina started asking me questions about some of the stuff that she just didn't understand, but she hears about, right? A lot of World War II questions. I think they're covering it in her history class right now.
That's freaking one day. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of questions that she has about World War II and very kind of romanticized views of it due to the educational system.
I mean, for any country kind of have things skewed their way, right?
Yeah, yeah. And
well, mostly.
And even like, you know, like she doesn't truly understand the Pearl Harbor. She doesn't truly understand Nagasaki and Hiroshima.
Watch the movie.
She doesn't- yeah. Look, this is what happened. Ben Affleck, right? He's heading to work. And,
You can't see, but one's a pilot. That's him, right?
He's got some animal crackers.
but we started. I was talking about how like certain countries are surrounded in allies and blah blah blah. And I was like, if you look at us, like we pretty much. We have issues. Everybody has issues with who they border, but we get along fairly well with both Mexico and Canada. And she was like, "Yeah, not like Israel. They're surrounded by the ops."
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. That's great.
Wow. Your daughter.
Like, only in my house, man. So here's a weird thing that happened. So my town, Newmarket, had a little parade, Joe. A little Christmas
I missed
parade.
it.
Yeah.
I thought there was a fire truck that comes around here sometimes.
Yeah, that's coming.
That's not
I know it's it's this Friday.
Oh, okay. I won't be here
So I can tell you, you missed out.
Oh boy.
on the parade.
Yeah.
Where was downtown?
Main
Or
Street, yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's
I don't
only
even
the
know
one
where-
street.
Yeah.
I don't know where that is here, to be honest.
It's the one street.
Yeah, it's one street.
Is it 3 turns from here if I go towards Frederick?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Some of the most American shit I've ever seen in my fucking life.
Oh boy.
So I want to describe. So I was like, yeah, go ahead. Ask away.
So is it like on TV you watch that everyone's sitting in the chairs on the side of the street waving their flags and stuff?
So some of that more standing, more standers.
Because you probably realized it wasn't going to be that long of a parade.
Yeah, it was actually surprisingly.
It's only a quarter
Do
mile.
we need to get a Nerd Rage float next year?
It was disappointingly long.
Do we need to get
But like seriously, Main Street is like a quarter mile, maybe.
I would do a nerve rage float.
What if I told you I was once involved in a pro wrestling Christmas parade float? It was very cold in my gear that night.
I would not be surprised.
It happened
was
in
in-
Alabama.
I was in a lot of
I totally forgot
parades.
about that till right now. Thanks.
I was
Bob.
in the armed drove team. We went to a lot of parades, with like Fifth Street Parade and New York and shit.
So there was all of these groups.
Fifth Avenue.
Right? The Masons come down looking like Jedi.
Oh yeah, the Masons building is there. Look,
yeah.
that building was run down as fuck.
All the Mason buildings look like that.
That's poor. But they're the Masons.
My
Do better
grandfather was heavy
fucking
in that.
masonry, please. That you don't represent well.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway,
Wrong kind of
they
Mason.
were there.
They got the little protractor and shit.
Yeah.
And the high.
I never said I was a Mason. I said I was a Mason. Anyway, the sheriff came down with some sort of like assault vehicle.
For
serious?
Newmarket?
Yeah.
Newmarket is an assault
so
vehicle
it's
for
actually
what?
it's the Frederick
Okay,
sheriff.
that makes sense.
It does.
The county
but it still
sheriff,
was
yeah.
a bit much for the Christmas parade.
Yeah, I mean, Frederick is not that rough of a town.
Yeah, it was like a SWAT vehicle. Like it was like you know what I mean. I was like, I don't know whether you guys are picking up money at the ATM or getting ready to fucking bust down the doors. You know what I mean? What else? There was the fire truck. There was like tractor shit. But
Tractor shit.
yeah, like farm vehicles.
Yeah.
But
Bring them all out.
what the fuck is a Rotary Club?
Is like with the phones? I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
It's a social club. That
The only thing Rotary I know is the old school phone.
Well, they had a huge presence.
Oh, really?
I'm talking about 4 or 5 vehicles. Huge presence.
Well, here it is from their website. Rotary is a global network of 1.4 million neighbors, friends, leaders, and problem solvers who see a world where people unite and take action. I think it's you give money and they promote peace, fight disease, provide clean water and sanitation.
That sounds like
save mothers and children, support education.
That sounds fair.
That sounds like a.
I want to say when I was in high school, I was in the Key Club, which was like an auxiliary to the Rotary Club.
Huh. It sounds like propaganda for like NWO, bro.
So anyway,
it's New Order, the one world government shit.
But what is it? The coup d'état? What is it that like
coup de grace?
Coup de grace?
Coup d'état. Yeah.
Is Santa Claus came down the road.
Okay.
In a Marine Corps tank.
Yes.
A straight up tank?
In Newmarket.
In Newmarket. Throwing candy out of the tank. And I was
what if it had shot?
Where did it get this tank?
And I was like,
how are roads
National Guard.
And I was like, my eyes just got big. And Laura looked over at me and I just mouthed to her, I fucking love this.
Of course you would.
I love extremely
that is
like
extreme already.
Compared things, like the piece of the world in the fucking tank throwing candy at children.
This is so America.
Fucked up.
You're right.
It's so fucked
America.
up in all the right ways for me.
It's all the right ways and all the wrong ways. But yeah, America, but oh my God.
But that's just the tip of the iceberg, how weird that day got, Joe. So
when was this? What day was this?
This was Saturday.
Okay.
So then we go.
Where the fuck was I?
Somewhere safe compared to where I was. So there we go to Leia has a dance performance. She's joined this dance troupe.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Is it like are they snapping their fingers and have switchblades kind of dance?
Yeah, boys, crazy boys. Be cool, boy.
I can't believe that was the tough guy image.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're going to her dance performance. I kind of have my in-laws are there. We actually had a pleasant evening. My eyes are kind of on the ground. Like I'm just like, let's just get through this, right? And I hear my wife shriek, "Holy shit!" Loud as fuck in a very populated area with families and stuff. Now that's not too big of a deal if you heard me do it. But my wife is a lady and she keeps her composure and she acts a certain way in public. This is uncharacteristically rude for her. I look up and she is a foot and a half away from my brother.
Your brother?
My brother.
Which you hadn't seen?
I haven't seen him in probably 5 years or
Did
so.
you know he lived around here even?
So I know he lives in Maryland. He works for Frederick.
Like, yeah, I thought he stopped by maybe a few years ago.
Yeah, he did. I haven't seen him since.
I think that was awkward too.
100%. He looks like shit. Like just like he is aging like a fucking banana.
Time to make banana bread.
And what's interesting is like like we have my mother's side of the family is pretty much all Irish and Italian, but he got much more of the Southern Italian gene, if you will. Like his skin tone is darker, his hair is coarser, he's got like really dark eyes and everything. And I was like, man, but black don't crack, but fucking light beige, that motherfucker's cracking. That shit's cracking all to hell. But anyway, it was awkward. His daughter.
And this was at the dance recital?
His daughter dances with mine.
You didn't even know?
No clue.
What the fuck?
Fucking weird.
I mean, did you talk to him?
Just hey,
what's up?
That's it.
Yeah,
that's how it is.
But both of y'all kids don't know you guys each other.
Nope, and they didn't know each other.
Yeah,
and just fucking weird. Like there you are dancing with your cousin for fucking your blood cousin for fucking months. Strange.
That's
it's a crazy
very
world.
Strange.
Crazy world we live in, Joe. So I'm gonna be making some changes to my channel. This is my last thing.
Wait, we didn't talk about Waffle House.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't.
We didn't. I went to Waffle House. I enjoyed it. You
had a waffle.
I had a waffle.
Did you try the peanut butter waffle?
I tried it. I enjoyed that too. I don't know if I could do the whole thing, so to speak, but I enjoyed it.
You got full of one. I was in there eating 2 and hash browns.
Yeah, I would love to go more often with you so I could have a bite of yours.
Yeah, that's fuck. I'm down,
I'll be like
bro.
the girlfriend.
It was a blast, and truth be told, I took the photo and I did place the ketchup there. He did not put ketchup on anything.
It's funny because Chris called it. He was like, "We got to put the ketchup in." And people were gonna, and I was like, people don't give. And I'm sure as shit. As soon as the comments started, all they started talking about was the fucking ketchup. I was like, yeah, he knows about it.
It was a good time. I enjoyed it. We don't. we do this every week, but we don't often.
We need at least
that.
once a month, like just go to eat after we get done. Or
Yeah, because we do have get-togethers
breakfast
for like
before or something.
dinners or whatever, or
we
like
need to have-
But it's not
gatherings.
just us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that was uncommon. I really enjoyed the experience.
Yeah.
It was fun. I will say that, Bobby, I immediately I asked the AI chat bot to write me a prompt about Santa throwing candy from a tank, and then ran that through Midjourney, and I got some pictures of Santa on a tank.
How close is that to?
So
What happened?
Which one's the closest?
So
Was he in the tank or on the tank?
in the tank?
Holy shit.
So the bottom right one.
Yeah, so it's closest to this, but it wasn't this style tank. It was a much more
okay.
modern.
I got you. Yeah, these are like German Panzer tanks. or
Yeah.
something. I should have been more specific.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Trust me.
It's funny to be able to do that.
So I'm going to be changing some things on my channel.
Yes.
at
You
the-
hinted at that on your video.
Yes, and I'm not exactly sure how all of it's going to go, but I do know that I will be doing some, if not all, sit down Saturdays will probably be going to Patreon. Don't know 100%, but they probably will be. That being said, I just want to say this. I started thinking about what I'm going to do, right? I know I'm going to put, like, if it's not, so Dummies stays on my channel. Nerd Rage Top 5 stay on my channel. Masterpiece, official, and third party stay on my channel. But that's the only thing that I'm 100% sure is going to stay on my channel. Everything else is in question. So let me talk about what I know is not going to stay on the channel. Legends reviews will no longer be on the channel. Hasbro reviews will no longer be on the channel. Premium products that aren't Masterpiece, Flame Toys, 3.0, that kind of stuff will not be on the channel. All of that will go to Patreon. The sit down Saturday thing, I've been kind of hemming and hawing over, as you will, Joe.
Hey, yo.
And I know that the verses I'll probably keep on my channel, but I started getting excited about sit down Saturday again, and I'll tell you why. I was like, I can start telling stories that I don't really want to talk about publicly.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, like I can do a what happened at this convention that turned me off to it, sit down Saturday. I can do
Go so many more places.
what happened to Shattered Cast that made me walk away, sit down Saturday. I can do all of these things it's just inappropriate to do in that public
even
of a
before
space,
that.
So
other podcasts.
and I was like, holy shit, look at you getting excited to make some sit down Saturdays again. So it kind of put a little bit of a battery in my back, which was good, which was a good feeling. And that is it for mine.
I mean, we can always do minute clip on your
Yes.
channel that leads to.
Yes, I'm
Patreon
going to
for
do
the
some.
full
I'm going to
video.
do some more reels, like type things, like on YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
I think they're
Yeah.
called.
Just to remind people that Saturday exists.
And if you want to watch it, yeah. And it's
$1?
No, it'll probably be at the 5.
Okay.
And at the 5, you get all the reviews. You get sit down Saturday, and you get diorama videos,
Oh yeah.
and you get Dummies Uncut, which
yeah.
I can tell you by itself is worth the 5.
You get a top 5 uncut.
Actually, I'm going to play this bit from Dummies Uncut. This is something that will never ever be public because people will get people get offended as it is.
I mean, this
But like
is public.
this is
Nerd Rages, yeah.
yeah. But I mean like you don't see the picture that we're talking about and blah blah blah. But it's funny because it's like this is the type of shit that's on there that that people just aren't privy to. So I'm just going to pull it up. It's a game that we play where we talk about like destroying people's collections when we're looking at the pictures. And like
My favorite.
the joke of it is to try to convince the rest of the cast that you're trying to offer a helpful hint, but then the punchline becomes that you just destroy the collection. And I am having an extremely hard time finding it for whatever reason. Give me 2 seconds here. Let me go to deleted. Maybe I deleted it. Here it is. Ready?
It's not a bad display case.
No, I think it's the best way to handle this. You shouldn't don't go to IKEA. Go to Home Depot. Get yourself a 40-gallon garbage can. Bring it over here, open the top, and just tilt this display case over the garbage can.
Go to Home Depot, all right? Because I see you got wood floors. Go to Home Depot.
Laminate. Those are laminate floors.
So let's pretend they're wood. Go to Home Depot, get yourself some lacquer. Put a nice thick coat of lacquer over the wood, and then light it all on fire.
So like that's the kind of stuff that's on there. Anyway, and they're hour long. But yeah, so that's probably where it's going to go. And with that, we can get into news.
So many.
So there is a lot to talk about. First of all, R.I.P. Kirstie Alley.
She died?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't even hear about that.
Did it bum me out? She was one of my crushes as a kid. Like, you know, like I always thought she was attractive. What's funny is people used to compare my wife to her.
I don't see that at all.
I know. And you know what's funny is there's other people that my wife gets compared to. See, because I see that one, but I don't see people have compared her to Juliette Lewis before. I don't see that.
I see that.
People have compared her to Sandra Bullock before. I don't see that. But those are three common ones. And then there's new ones now. Oh, the witch. The witch from fucking
Agatha.
Yeah, like I see that one a little bit, but Kirstie Alley's always been the one that I see the most.
How about Star Wars one?
The chick from
the chick from Star Wars I see.
But only when she's got her hair pulled back. When she's got her hair down, she doesn't look like her anymore.
My wife is like always that person that someone recognizes from that show. Like, but anyway, it bummed me out. I was like, I had a crush on her when I was a kid, and you know, she always seemed funny. Like she seemed like a fucking Carrie Fisher type of personality with like always joked around. And I remember she said like she did one of those, you know, like celebrity kind of like washed up celebrities when like, you can book them and they'll like leave a voice message on your phone.
Cameo.
Yeah. She said like I think she did one. She was like I'll only do like a termination of employment or something like that. You know, what I mean? Like she always had like a good kind of sport about her. So I hate to hear it. You know, thoughts and prayers and likes and shares to her family, friends, and fans. So Kanye West,
Your favorite?
I can't defend it.
Wear shoes.
I can't. I tried.
There's no.
Are you still? Are you guys not wearing your shoes anymore?
Yeah. I can separate the art from the artist, but
The shoes from artists.
yeah, it's art too, design. But like, I can't defend like.
I have no idea what's. I just know of the ether. Like I was out with my parents for whatever reason the other day. We don't go out much, but on the TV there's CNN, and then on CNN there's Kanye West, and underneath Kanye West is canceled. Is this news? I guess it's news. What did he do? I don't know.
So he defended Hitler.
Defended Hitler.
Not.
Is it out of context or in context?
So he said.
Because sometimes you can clip someone saying some fucked
he
up
said
shit.
something along the lines of "There's good people on both sides."
He said that like he said that good things came from it, which is not like which may. So like he said like for instance like because of Hitler we have highways. Right, which I think is true, but it's not true in the right context. It's not framed correctly. Like because of World War II, we created, I think, long paths of road to get military vehicles from one place to another,
and also to create landing strips all over the country.
But it's not Hitler creating those. It's Hitler doing something terrible that made people. Yeah, exactly. So it's like it's
like
not
we have
fair.
Captain America because of the question mark.
Yeah. You know,
Right?
so like, but it's a byproduct of.
Yeah.
It's not like Hitler created Captain America.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think we should just sort of keep him as a villain in general.
Yeah.
I don't think we should try to shed new light. You know?
It doesn't need to be.
I'll not play the radio when I drive my Volkswagen today.
Oh God! But I mean, that's another one. Volkswagen. I know. Yeah. So anyway, but he was also at some point he ended up in fucking Frederick at a fucking.
Is that really him? Like when I saw that picture, I'm like, oh, that's a lookalike.
He's put on some weight.
100%.
So apparently somewhere in one of these podcasts that he did that has caused all this ire. The guy's in Harper's Ferry, and there's an airport in Frederick, and apparently they flew out of Frederick. In and out of Frederick.
It's crazy.
Oh, that's why they need a military vehicle for.
Can you imagine being in Frederick, like just at Five Guys, and like here comes Kanye West through the door, and like with his mask with zip up eyelids or whatever? Like,
I would not have even, like I said, I wouldn't have even believed it.
I'd have been like, what the
It's like, you look like Kanye East.
I'd have been like, for some reason, this is the perfect place to see you, and I don't know why.
Yeah, but it's that sushi restaurant over by the movie theater is where he was. I'm like, I've eaten there before.
Eating with the greats.
I knew it had good taste.
Yeah.
Too bad he didn't go to the Italian place around the corner.
Yeah, that's the better spot.
That was the fire.
I mean, he
the
should have
fire
gone
spot.
oh yeah, mine Luke.
Man,
You should have hit me up. I could have told you what the spots are.
Waffle Houses. Where's that? Though?
Yeah, and then there's a Waffle House. You could have gotten in a fight.
The Witcher loses its magic. So the
Which
upcoming.
part? That's all things going on
So
with
there's
Witcher
an
right now.
upcoming remake of The Witcher.
Yes.
It's going
of the first movie.
Yeah, which is needed. That thing game is dated.
It's going to feature a major departure compared to the original game that launched in
hate to hear it.
2007. Within the past month, it confirmed that The Witcher remake was in development at Studios Full Theories under the code name something else. And while they are still aren't sure on the details that have been shared in relation to this,
I wonder why.
they're going to change one thing. The remake will be an open world RPG in nature. For those that aren't aware, that's why this is a big deal. The original Witcher wasn't an open world game, while it was massive in its own right.
I mean, that's fine because The Witcher 3, the most famous of the Witcher series, which brings Witcher to like the pop culture, is open world. And
Yeah, that's kind of
it makes sense. If
You're right. That article's clickbaity. I'm mad I brought it up.
The only thing I would be maybe upset about if they change this established lore, because this is. But then again, I can't say that because I'm enjoying Final Fantasy VII Remake. But they told us from the get go, this is not a remaster. This is going to be different.
Right.
So like, and I'm always been a proponent for that. Like, there's a lot of fanboys like, no, just remake the original. I'm always like, just play the original.
Right.
Yeah.
I want something new. If you're going to do it again, make something new.
Watch episode 4. Don't make episode 7.
Yeah. But Witcher though is not as accessible. Like Final Fantasy VII, you can buy it on your phone right now. You can play it anywhere. But the original Witcher, I think, was a computer game.
Was it? It wasn't on consoles?
I don't think 1 or 2 was on console.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And it's
Fucking
really,
losers. Just kidding.
It's really dated, and so I can see why people want a console remake. And I think making it open world is good.
Yeah, I agree.
It makes it like, because everyone's been wanting more Witcher after Witcher 3, so this is more Witcher universe.
I wonder if they'll
without having
use. I mean, CD Projekt Red, the same company that makes Cyberpunk, so they're using Unreal Engine to make the Cyberpunk sequel.
Oh! My computer should be coming in next week, and I can start playing around in Unreal with Blender.
So apparently, update 1.5.1 came out, and it changed like.
I mean, every iterations of these programs, man, is just fire.
So what takes so long a lot of the time is rendering things because of all the polygons, and now this is using something called a Neo Polygon, so it's like,
and they already had the nanites before this, and it's just,
and then they're talking about like the lighting that comes through a plant to create. I'm like, I watched a video on like the way
I'm fucking combing my pants.
You know,
now.
like when you play a video game, like you could see far in the distance, but it doesn't look great.
Yeah,
right.
The draw distance is not. It's called draw. Sometimes things will just pop
load
up
on demand or something like that. That's gone now because they can load the entire thing.
Yes.
So that car, that's and they were talking about like, it's just basically, I think they call it a cardboard cutout basically. Like if this Christmas tree was
far enough away,
they would just use a picture of this.
Yep.
They wouldn't have a model. But now it's like there's no reason not to have a model for everything.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the processing power is just fucking huge. Like my new computer is, oh man, I can't wait.
I watched a guy on YouTube use Unreal to build, basically just it was a doorway and like a cavern kind of thing. And I'm like, that doesn't seem that hard to do.
It's not. And it used to be like all these tricks and things to like help with rendering, like quote unquote, it's called baking in shadows, to where things look like they have a shadow, but if you really examine it, it's not real. It's because of processing power. But now with these fucking next gen computers and graphics cards, you can just real time ray trace everything. It's fine. Computer can do it.
Yep.
There you go. I take your words for it all. You guys are way more knowledgeable about such things than I am.
Got to keep up, man.
I know.
Before they take over.
I mean, no. No, keep up in preparation for them taking. I can't wait. I think the world will be so much better when AI takes over. They can't do any worse than people.
That's not what Hollywood's telling me, Joe.
Hollywood. How often is Hollywood right?
Hollyweird, am I right? Marvel Legends reveals. Did you see any of that
exciting
stuff?
I saw enough of it to. I mean, there's nothing for me there, but I saw that they're doing a bunch of X-Men, right?
It's a great song.
It's a lot of X-Men stuff. Interestingly enough, it's a lot of like Gen X, like and sort of more obscure stuff, like Fang and
Fang Foom.
No. That should be a crowdfunded HasLab. Fang and Chamber and Monet and Omega Kid and like just kind of
Bad Batch.
Really getting kind of really getting into the woods. The one thing
that's what you want though. You've always wanted things that haven't been made before.
Yes, but these guys are. I mean, which is fine. I'm good with it because I kind of have my set, but I'm missing Farrell. They've like haven't.
Which is weird to not have.
I need a Farrell and I need a red suit Rachel or Phoenix. Like I need a red suit Phoenix, not Excalibur Phoenix with the spikes on her
Yes.
arms. Yeah.
On fire.
One thing that was slightly disappointing for me is, I'm going to do the blue and yellow classic,
Yes.
and they're going to be box sets for the next 6. That's it.
Okay.
Which is ultimately okay because it will.
You said that.
Because it'll do the job.
Yeah.
However, I wanted 2 Banshees. I wanted one for this shelf and one for the shelf in there. And now what I think I'm going to do is put the blue and yellow one in here and then put the green and black one out there. But that's not the one I want out there, Joe.
Just buy 2 box sets.
I'm not going to buy 2 boxes.
Buy 2 boxes and sell the rest.
Or just buy 2 box sets, and that's just how much it costs, and make the other custom fodder or something.
Yeah.
Buy Banshee on eBay
Yeah.
for the price of the box set.
Speaking of which, I had an issue this week. It's fucked. I'm fucked out of like $75, but it's fucking. It's my fault.
On eBay?
No,
your
through
fault.
through NECA. Yeah, I ordered something through NECA. Mm-hmm. I got a shipping notice. I probably had a ton of shit going on. Didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it. I started thinking to myself like this week. I was like, man, when is that motherfucker gonna ship? It was the Usagi Yojimbo.
Yes.
So like I searched it. It shipped. It went to UPS. UPS always fucks my shit up. And sure enough, it never got delivered. And, I went to UPS. I went to USPS. And they say, at this point, you got to contact NECA. It's been returned to sender. NECA, I can't get any contact through to.
So I've years ago when I did buy a lot from NECA, I had several occasions where things either came messed up or didn't show, and they always took care of me on it.
It's probably this time.
I've reached out to them once, maybe though.
I mean, it's this time of year, everyone's fucking busy.
Yeah.
So give it a little bit of
I
time.
thought that figure had been out for a while.
It has. That's what I just skipped my mind for whatever reason, But anyway, they have a blob coming, a rogue with the green and black suit, like the which I wanted. So for my little shelf there. I just want a feral. I actually reached out to the Marvel Legends guy. I was like, look, I don't do this. I don't ever do this. I don't expect for you to write back, but I just need a peace of mind. Is feral being fucking considered? Mm-hmm. So we'll move on to trailers. Cocaine Bear. We'll start there.
Amazing.
So the premise is this jettisons, so to speak, a package of cocaine into the forest. A bear stumbles across its contents.
This is based on a true story.
And gets
loosely.
Very
right.
Cocaine fell from the sky and a bear ate it. That's about as far as
And
we
it
get.
died 5 minutes later.
Did it?
Yeah, its heart exploded. Okay. It OD'd immediately.
Yeah.
Because it's a fucking bear.
Yeah. So, and then this bear goes on this murder spree, this cocaine-inspired murder spree.
Yeah,
it looks like it'll be a good time.
Yeah,
It does. I can't lie. And
they should have made that the Pooh Bear story instead.
Yeah.
Right in that same spirit, the mean one.
It looks so bad. I wish it was better.
I didn't even finish the
acting's
trailer.
bad.
I'm like, you know what?
It's so cringe. It's cringy, not.
I get it.
Does
It's like
look
not
bad.
Grinchy.
an evil Grinch.
I like the premise.
I like the premise of Cindy Lou Who suppressing this childhood memory where like the Grinch killed her father, but she
Yes.
turned it into like this joyful Christmas cheer, or like tapped her head and sent her back to
Yes.
bed. I do like that conception. The movie's gonna be fucking dog shit.
The
Don't get me wrong.
premise is it could have been done better.
Yeah. But it's an interesting.
It seems like it's made to be bad on purpose.
It's the
hopefully.
suppressed memory thing that interests me. The Jesus.
Because you have many.
Yes, probably the Jesus RPG.
Amazing. It looks like the next Skyrim.
So
Does it though?
Here's what's amazing about it to me. The comments.
That is real. That's a
No, the
real.
comments.
It's real. It's
I
coming.
didn't read the comment.
the comments section.
That's like the second coming of Jesus.
This is gonna be a first person RPG
Action
game
RPG.
based on you being Jesus. So real quick before I get into that, I reached out to a pastor that I know, and I sent him the link, and I said, "Give me your thoughts on this." And he said,
The good minister?
No. He sent me these little notes. Who in the world would even thought there would be a market for this? It's like 90s Christianity trying to take all the marketing themes and make t-shirts out of them. I highly doubt that this will spread faith when gamers have a choice to play Doom or this. They're probably going to go with Doom. I think, in fact, it will just help society make more of a mockery of faith. I don't necessarily think it's heresy, though. I think it's comical. And I said, fair. I said a lot of the comments sure up your opinions, which I'm going to get to. And he said, but we Christians have pretty much done everything else to market our faith except the actual stuff the Bible tells us to do. Go figure.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Which I thought was
remember
a
Bible Man?
mature reply.
And Left Behind and Christian rock. And like, I was in Christian school in the 8th grade. We had a Christian rock band show up for assembly sometimes. And Christian rap.
There was an entire South Park episode about monopolizing Christian music by just becoming a Christian music band.
Oh, yeah. But he didn't get platinum. He got myrrh. His girlfriend
Yeah.
He got a myrrh record.
Let me read you some of the comments.
I mean, but the thing, is the intention of this game to be funny or not?
I don't know.
That's
I don't
the thing.
think so.
I thought it was like...
It seems serious to me.
It seems serious, but like... Done
You have to heal people. I mean,
it's
is also a
funny.
Jedi game, though?
Yeah.
I
just
thought
get the
it was
lightsaber
like
and
something
you
meme
feed
done in
people
a
with-
serious style.
That one guy was like, this wine is delicious. That seemed jokey.
Yeah,
some
right?
of so I don't know. Let me read you some of these comments. Finally, a game where rising from the dead over and over makes sense.
Wow. Altered Beast much.
It really makes you feel like Jesus. 7 out of 10 from IGN. As a video game protagonist, Jesus is now officially eligible to appear in a future iteration of Super Smash Brothers.
Yes!
Revelations DLC.
Or Fortnite. Jesus and Fortnite.
Revelations DLC gonna be fire.
Oh, yo.
Hey, that's great.
I'm gonna buy this game for my brother. He doesn't play video games, but he's a huge Jesus fan.
What if they came up with their own video game system that you had to play it on?
The bread was in his body, the wine was in his blood, but this game was in his soul. After 2,000 years of development, a miracle.
Oh, goodness gracious.
I'm a Christian, but you are out of Holy Spirit energy sent me.
Oh, that's because they used the Jesus magic?
Yeah.
How do you
That's how
charge
you
Holy
regenerate
Spirit?
your health is following the Holy Spirit.
The speed runs are going to be insane. It's about time this book had a video game adaptation. Somebody said, "Is this Elder Scrolls 6 or Elder Scrolls 6?"
That's Skyrim. Yeah. That's cool.
Somebody said, "I hope they make a sequel."
We're waiting on the sequel right now in IRL.
Imagine you wanted to go to heaven, but IGN gave Jesus game a 6. Most appropriate Christmas present.
Oh yes, it's coming out December. I think it came out already.
Is it
December.
out?
I don't know.
It's supposed to come out this December. We're in December now, so.
Let's see. Nailed it.
Oh, God. So bad.
Yeah. So read the comments. They're pretty entertaining.
I mean, the trailer's entertaining. Like it was compelling. I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, I did too.
After 3 seconds, you know where it's going, but I watched the whole thing.
I did too. So, Gen V, season 1, the Boys spinoff.
Yeah.
I'm in.
I'm in. It looks great.
It looks on brand.
It looks like, X-Men First Class, but
Yeah, and like in the
rated
Boys,
R.
in the Boys, there was a X-Men group, and they were like kind of like wild teenagers, like almost like what you would expect, like a rock and roll
I
band.
think that's what this is building towards.
I don't know, but they when the boys went to like get them, they were like they rented out the entire top floor of a hotel, and there was like all sorts of sexual misconduct and fucking drugs and everything going on in this top floor with all these teenage kids with these powers that were out of control. You know,
I'm good with anything in that universe.
Me too. The Mario Brothers trailer.
Yep. I've watched it 3 or 4 times.
I'm still in love with it, dude.
It's great.
Fucking Donkey Kong. Fucking I was like, come on. Like it's just like they did the Mario Kart.
Mario Kart,
you know,
bro.
like it's just like,
I was
it's
like,
like
That's how you get pink and
it's all done in such the right vein, so to speak.
This is great.
Which is all I need is Cody to redub the whole thing.
Let's go over here. You do this. You do that. Look,
The fan dub.
I don't want to give you guys any spoilers. I'm just going to say this. When we return in January, after our week sabbatical at the end of the year, which I did finish this week, by the way,
Nice.
our week, the best of 2 hours and 30 minutes.
30 minutes short, but that's okay.
Yeah. When we return, there will be new pads.
Oh, boy.
No spoilers, but new pads.
Nice.
You would go over here. You do this. You do that. Bad Batch. Oh, no, sorry. Transformers Rise of the Beast. So you had mentioned that you saw my sit down Saturday on the matter.
I think you're very fair on everything you said. It's true. And I will watch it because I like eye candy and robot action, right? But like, I don't care. I've stopped caring about this cinematic universe a long time ago.
Let me tell you something.
I don't think there's anything anyone can do to fix it other than a reboot.
Yeah.
It's fucking a heap of garbage. Like, is this part of the timeline that we've been watching, or is it not? Because but the answer is it doesn't matter because none of them are in the same timeline. None of them are fucking really connected in any fucking way. I don't know why I'm getting angry about this.
No, I agree.
So last night I was after wrestling went off, I was just flipping channels and I saw that The Last Night was on, and watching it, I know I've seen the movie.
That's the worst one.
But it is
it's the worst one.
Incomprehensible as to what is. I mean,
it's just everywhere.
It is all over the. I mean, like they find this thing, and there's 28 MacGuffins. Yeah, it's a nightmare.
The things don't even transform anymore.
Yeah,
I thought Bumblebee was fine.
I like Bumblebee enough.
I thought it was fine, but I mean, I'm not excited, but I think this is going to be good. I think it's gonna.
If I have to try to watch it completely divorced of any other previous knowledge I have of. Like, I still enjoy. I could probably still enjoy the first 3 movies. I think, maybe 1 and 3.
Yeah, three is the best.
Yeah, Dark Side of the Moon.
Which one does what? I don't.
Dark Side of the Moon with Sentinel Prime.
With Sentinel Prime, the Leonard Nimoy voice.
Yeah, that one's good. So that one was good, and I enjoyed the first one because it wasn't tied to anything. It was fucking live action Transformers movies. I know people don't like the design, but I do.
It's the second one where they have like the astronauts in it talking about going to the moon and shit.
That's the third one.
That's the third one. What's the second one?
The second one is Revenge of the Fallen,
which I can. It was a stupid Devastator.
Yeah.
So that I can take. So okay, I like 1 and 3.
Yeah.
Weird how that works. So like I can still like those, but everything else fucking makes everything worse. You know, it's whatever opposite of synergy is. When you put it all together, it makes the whole thing fucking worse.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So I do like Prime Head. Looks like Prime Head in this new. Yeah. Like that Prime Head is the most Prime Head ever.
Yeah, I agree.
His body looks proportions are kind of weird. I'm not sure I like it.
I like the Primal.
Yeah.
You just like apes. Too,
I do.
But
it looks good. I mean, it looks.
But I like that it's not a furry. Like,
yes.
You know what I mean? It's like
I do like the robots being robots being robot animals.
Yeah.
But also, like, why? What's the purpose of the transformation at this point?
Yeah.
You're not pretending to be something else.
Well,
it's whatever that scanner scanned, bro. Be glad it wasn't a tree.
Yeah. There's that, right? The scanner scanned it, and that's
spinning.
And because
so a giant gorilla, it's not. You're not disguising shit.
Yeah, but see, the thing is like it's a reach, right? It's a reach. Yeah. I'm on board. It's a reach. But I do think you can kind of explain it if they like lived in the jungle, like far away from humanity, and you just kind of got glimpses of them, like almost like Bigfoot legend type stuff. Yeah. Like nobody's really seen it, but they may have seen parts of it, and they know something's not quite right. But it does look like an animal. Maybe it's the vantage point. So
it's more primitive people will see them as animal deities. I understand.
Yes. Yeah. And then
I'm good with that. It's just like. But from like the robot side, they could have just been robots. Like they're not tricking anyone into thinking they're animals.
No, not walking around town. But I think they can trick you in the jungle if you only get a glimpse from a certain angle. If you only saw like a trick, if you only saw like
the other tigers.
No, like people that would wander into the.
I guess
you know what I mean. Like if you only saw like a shoulder of one move past, you'd be like, wait, was that fucking?
That was definitely King Kong.
Was that a fucking? What was that? You know, I think it's. I like the
designs.
I can tilt my head and squint and buy into it.
I can buy into this a lot more than the original Beast Wars. That's for goddamn sure.
Well,
I like these designs more.
Yeah.
They look great. Yeah. Cheeto looks great.
Yeah, I agree.
Watching Cheeto runs next to Bumblebee, who was like the analog in the show.
And it felt good.
Felt good.
Yeah. I will say that it's a lot better than I thought it would be when they announced this. Because I was like, oh, God, what are they going to do?
Because I hate Beast Wars, man. I know it's supposed to be a good story. I'm not taking it that way, but I fucking hate it anyway.
The problem with this, I think, and I said it in the Sit Down Saturday, I don't mean to repeat myself, but it's just you're going to have to explain these human characters again.
I don't care for them already.
They can't keep the human characters connected to these fucking franchises for whatever reason. If they could have just kept that girl that was in the first one, then you don't need to explain shit. You could just move on with the story. But
why do I have to like...
Now we got to go through this all again. Like, the car drives itself. Like, I get it. Yeah. I know. Yeah. It's shocking.
It's like you did the great analogy of you don't see the Waynes die in this last Batman.
Or Parker get bit by a spider.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's going to be... what I worry about is I don't know if I care. It's going to be like last night. They're just going to be a bunch of random events that cause you to go all over the fucking world, ending up to wherever they want you to be.
Chasing them and guffing.
For, the store, not for story reasons, but because that's the way you want people to be.
Yep. I agree.
It's going to be bad.
Yeah, it's going to be the same. It's going to be more of the same. I agree.
Just fucking reboot the goddamn thing.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the same reason why they're making Jazz into Mirage.
Or Starscream into Blitzwing?
Yeah, it's the same reason.
Why?
Because
there's no reason for it to change. Just put the name. Just make the name the name.
I 100% agree with you. But the problem is they're trying to make the continuity line up.
But why?
Because Jazz got killed.
Yes, but
no, not even in the first movie. But the thing is Jazz arrives to Earth in the first movie. The comet comes. Prime calls out to the Autobots, and then they come. So that you can't have Jazz now because Jazz comes in the movie that takes place 10 years later.
Oh, I didn't realize the timeline.
But that's the thing. None of the fucking timeline makes sense.
I agree with you. I think it's dumb. I'm just explaining why they did it.
Even just between watching the second movie, couldn't even line up with the first movie. By the third or fourth movie,
it's just a toy commercial, guys.
But the problem is
it's like the galaxy far. The galaxy is huge, but you're always on fucking Tatooine for some reason. The universe is huge. All these fucking fragments of this one planet, fucking whoever knows how far away. All these fragments of fucking MacGuffins end up on Earth somehow. Somehow, the fucking cube is here.
The cube is here.
The problem.
It's the gravitational pull.
I must really love Transformers for me to get worked up over this.
Well, the problem with approaching it callously in the beginning, right, is like it all works in the first movie because it's like that's it. It's just one movie and it exists on its own.
Yeah.
But when you change names and you change characters and you make all these changes arbitrarily that you don't need to, because none of it impacts it, right? Like you don't have to have this character like Bone Crusher. You don't need to have him named Bone Crusher, and that it doesn't change anything about the movie. You can call him Swindle. You can call him something. You can call him whatever you want. But now, when you build on it, that's where the problems come in because now
you've got shaky foundations.
You've got shaky foundations. Yeah. When you already have this other world where the foundations are legitimately lined up, and you can just build on top of it, just move it over and then build on it. But no, you want to do your own thing, change names, and now you've got a fucking issue. You can't call this fucking character Bone Crusher now because he fucking died in the first movie.
All they had to do, I mean, they already did that where you see somebody die, a robot die in one scene, but like that exact same looking robot in another scene in the same fucking movie.
Right.
They just clean it up. Just
start
reboot. Just reboot.
Yeah, start over.
They should have done that.
Everybody would have been fine if Bumblebee was a reboot.
Yeah,
everybody.
Yeah,
everybody.
Why wasn't it? Why couldn't it have been?
I think they wanted to be able to pivot. I think they tried to play it where with Bumblebee, they tried to play it where we're gonna do this. It's kind of starting over, but if people are mad that we're starting over, we could be like, no. Look, it still works. It all still works. But now they've definitely locked in to it being in the timeline. It's a mistake.
It's because the timeline is a fucking... There's no timeline.
I agree.
Just open up the multiverse.
They could have done so much better if they just fucking rebooted it.
I'll be interested.
Because they finally had dialing in the designs of what people want, closer to what people want in general, right? It's a fucking well, whatever. They're fucking geniuses. They're making all the money, so
yeah.
Whatever they're doing is successful, so it's right for them.
Yeah, I guess so.
We're the idiots.
Is Michael Bay Michael Bay still attached to this?
I think so in a producer way, but Bad Batch 2.
I never finished the first one, although I planned to finish it just to say I watched it.
But why?
It looks like a bunch of shit I would love to see, like mashed in with a bunch of shit I don't want to see.
Yes.
It looks like it's going to be an
all the parts
adventure.
of the kids
look as bad to me.
All the parts of the kids
I don't know if I'm setting myself up for disaster.
Well, yes, you are.
My main complaint about the show what I watched was it's always about this kid doing dumb shit.
But the kid is still fucking there.
The kid is there, but it looks like the kid's like
can we not have
helping and not being a burden. So it kind of looks like it's going to be an adventure of the week kind of show, though.
Can we have the Bad Batch though and not have the kid? It's not Bad Batch or kid. Or the kid in the Bad Batch.
Yeah, I don't know. I
guess it's aimed for a young audience.
Yeah,
it's her sister.
But I don't know anything about a story. I don't.
It's rough. That first season is a rough watch. And I'm not crazy.
We're not the demographics. I'm not the demographics for it.
I'm not crazy about a lot of that Star Wars shit. The shows, but of all the shows, that is 100% the roughest.
I mean, I didn't. Yeah, there's only one I didn't
rough. Yeah. Guardians 3 trailer.
It's heavy.
It's heavy.
It's heavy.
It's like Will Poulter.
Huh?
Everybody loves Will Poulter.
Who's that?
The guy with the face, Warlock.
I didn't know that guy's name.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's very. I mean, he's got a unique face.
Well, I
He's
didn't.
from
I
everywhere.
didn't know the actor was.
He doesn't. You only see him briefly. I feel like.
Yeah.
But like he doesn't look like Warlock to me. Like I was like,
He's gold with a dot on his head.
yeah, but like it's something with. I know this sounds. It's
Here we go.
something with his hair. It's something. His hair's too cool.
Okay.
It's too like hip.
It's
Like it's not Jesus enough. Like you know how
but it's modernized cinematic universe version.
I know, and it's probably fine. I'm just talking from what I see in the trailer. I was like, ooh, I don't know how I feel about that. I want him to look like Jesus a little bit more.
You can play
He is
as
like-
Jesus as in the video game if you want Jesus so
go.
bad.
You can role play now
Yeah, I was just
without getting the cops called.
I was just a little disappointed with the look. I guess the best way to describe it is I didn't want to have to question to myself. That was Warlock, right? Was that Warlock? And then like that, which is what I did. I'm watching it. And I'm like, wait, was that?
Oh, really? I didn't question that at all.
And I was like, I think that's Warlock.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
it wasn't like unmistakably Warlock to me. It wasn't like Warlock. It was kind of like Warlock.
I like that they're wearing their classic costumes. I think that's cool.
Yes, I like that too.
Yeah.
I like that too.
I don't like how Peter Quill looks so disheveled, though. What? I
He's
mean,
always been the shovel.
but yeah,
He's always been not completely put together. And
I know, but he looks like he's like been asleep for 4 years on a spaceship and woke up and
Well, what timeline is this
who knows?
exactly?
I would love to see at least once before, because I probably won't, but I would love to see Gamora in her space suit, like her like stormtrooper suit. Like I always
We
thought
might get it. You never know.
that was my favorite look for them.
And he did say, "We are Groot," instead I am Groot.
I noticed
which I thought it was. But I mean, it's the last one, so I think people are going to probably die.
Yeah.
The ones that they aren't going to plug into something else.
Yeah.
I could see Nebula and Mantis maybe being on some other team, but
On TV.
Chris Pratt's done with this. He's a bona fide movie star now.
I think it's cool to get Rocket's backstory too.
Yeah.
I think that'll be emotional and
The Bautista has been said he's done.
Yeah. He looked very different.
He's much older now.
Well, and the dude he's had a lot of work done too, like plastic surgery. So he looks different. But I did find it interesting.
kind of kill one sad, lonely person.
I did notice in that Christmas special.
Just kill one person nobody loves.
Yeah.
Notice in the Christmas special and in the trailer, it looks like he's wearing a shirt most of the time.
Yeah, because it's hard to get in that shape. He's like 50 something.
Well, keep it in that shape, and then the body paint and the layovers.
Yeah.
I'm sure is a nightmare. So
and like when he was in his wrestling days, there's a lot of roids involved. I'm sure he's not on as much roids now.
oh yeah, I bet.
But I
Neither
don't
is
know.
The Rock, right?
I want to care more than I actually do. I wish I cared more. Like if you show me this trailer like a year and a half, 2 years ago, I'd have been very excited.
Yeah.
Right now,
We're
I'm just like,
everything we've been oversaturated with this.
it's not just that. It's just I fell out of love with the Marvel Universe because of fucking all the things that's been happening, especially like Doctor Strange 2, man, really fucked it over for me. Like after Doctor Strange 2, like I completely lost care about that world.
That's fair.
That took like 10, 15, whatever, however many years, 10 plus years to build me into like
a fan.
a fan, like real into this universe, real, like, yeah. That one movie just took all of it away. I just didn't care anymore.
Just a shame.
It didn't do that for me. I've been through the ringer with fandoms. Like I can stick out through some hard times. What it did for me was it degraded my interest. It just degraded my interest and excitement. Where like now it's like whatever.
Well, that's what, like, I don't hate it, but I'm just
okay.
I don't.
I thought it just turned you off to
No.
Like,
Because I still watch it.
Gotcha.
I just could.
I misunderstood.
I almost care less.
Except I'll tell you, Wakanda helped for me.
I haven't watched it. See, that's the thing. I would have watched that. I would have probably wanted to theater to watch, but I didn't.
You know how like you ever driven on? I have the perfect analogy. Are you ready? Oh, I love it when I fall into a groove myself, Joe. You ever driven on one of them roads where you can tell they're getting ready to do some work on it and they have to like grit it? Yeah, and it's like, and then you might hit some potholes in it. Like that's where I felt like I've been with Phase 4. Getting to Wakanda Forever, I felt like I hit the smooth asphalt again. Now I don't know if it's just for a little bit.
Yeah, because sometimes
sometimes you can go right back into it. You might be working on another section.
They paved a mile.
Yeah.
That's it though. So I don't know if you haven't noticed, but I did see that they're planning on making less content and more quality content. Marvel
really?
said that.
I didn't see that.
I don't know what they can do to like recover, like for me to recover my passion for this world.
Shang-Chi too.
I don't know even then.
I just want to say that while we were talking, I got an email from NECA that said, thank you for contacting us about this. I'm sorry, but we are out of stock of the item. Our accounting department is working on your refund and should send it out soon.
There you go.
See, I just give it some time.
Yeah, fantastic.
So this
made my day. Made my day.
Which one was this exactly? The Yojimbo, like,
Usagi Yojimbo.
like the
rabbit,
the cartoon version.
Yeah. But I bought one. I bought one off eBay.
Oh, look out!
Yeah, because I panicked. Okay, so then 2 more things. One last trailer for our trailer park episode. Indiana Jones 5.
I don't need this. I don't.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, I'll watch it. I'll enjoy it, but it's like. And look, I know the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Nobody like it even acknowledges it exists, and it was supposed to be a handoff to Shia LaBeouf to kind of run with it. And obviously, that guy made some life decisions that made people not want to put his name on things, which is fine. Who is? I mean, that's happened to a lot. Right. But like,
it's just funny to hear.
It's unreliable 20-somethings. What? I mean, what's the end game here? I mean, the dude's Harrison Ford's in his. Isn't he in his 70s?
Yeah. I think so. I'll tell you, I thought it looked great.
I mean, it looks great, but were you pining for this?
No, but after seeing the trailer, I did get excited. Like trailer, I can say this: the trailer worked for me.
Okay,
I did start to get excited at first, but my cynicism set in.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, this is just them people trying to tug on my nostalgia feels again, and it's just too many. Like, there's been too many old people coming back to the old franchises.
Yeah,
that
you mean like Harrison Ford?
Yeah, Blade Runner, Star Wars.
Well, Blade Runner wasn't him though. That's the difference.
Did he make an appearance?
He did, but I didn't have to have that.
No, I know, but it's still, it's still an example of why you'd be numb to it.
Yeah, part of all of that.
Yeah,
just.
I mean, it kind of ends up being a pretty important part of the story.
Yeah, but
it didn't.
In Blade Runner.
Yeah, but he didn't have to show up for that story. No, at all.
It looked.
You know, we didn't need fucking Jared Leto in a goddamn fucking movie.
Which one? Blade Runner.
Any of them.
I like him.
Fuck Jared Leto.
I like him in Snyder. Yeah, but you have an irrational.
Exactly.
I
like
get you hurt.
I love him.
Fuck him up in real life.
I love him in Snyder Cut. I love him.
I like him in Suicide Squad. I thought that was great.
I've hit or miss on him in Suicide Squad, but I love him in Snyder Cut. That the smelly little flounder is right. Au contraire, my little fish stick. I love all that shit.
Punch him in the fucking throat.
I don't know if I hate any actor that much. I'm trying to think.
I don't like, and I know it's irrational. I admit that. I fucking have a visceral reaction to just thinking about him.
I normally won't watch something if John Cusack's in it. I do not like John Cusack.
Say anything though.
I guess for me it's
The Rock.
The Rock.
It's The Rock. It's The Rock and Keanu Reeves.
But you don't hate him.
But I don't hate. That's what I'm saying. I don't hate anybody that much. But if I had to pick, it's The Rock, Keanu Reeves, and fucking Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
You know, those are but I like it wouldn't be in that order because Keanu Reeves would be my favorite of the three because I like
Dracula.
I like Dracula.
Finally.
I like Bill and Ted.
Finally.
And I like there's another one. Give me a minute.
Bill and Ted was another one. The second one, that the nostalgia feels thing.
Give me
Devil's
another
Advocate.
One. Give me a minute. There's a Devil's Advocate.
That's good.
There's another one. Superhero Constantine.
Yes.
I like
Constantine 2. I'm excited for Constantine 2.
Is there a trailer for that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I think I have a Constantine figure.
You make it sound like it's our job to know these things.
You seem real excited about it, Joe.
The idea of it.
I think the Mezco Constantine just showed up at my house while we were here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Can it do the thing? Can his arms come together?
I don't know.
Does it come with a cigarette?
It does.
Good.
Which was a big, it came, I don't think they call it a cigarette, but it's there. It's
they're British. We're not, so we can't talk too much about it.
Yeah, I'm kind of done with all these revival of old franchise with old people coming back.
Yeah, and I'm not necessarily.
It seems pandering, you know.
I'm kind of in the same boat with you, generally. But I felt that way about Bill and Ted. I felt that like about some other things. I'm sure if I sat here and thought about, but this one felt right to me. I can't explain it any other way. I saw a TikTok. Somebody sent me a link.
It's okay to be on TikTok, Bobby.
I'm not. But somebody sent me a link to it, and I got to admit, it's kind of how I felt watching it. But it was this guy, and he was like sitting on his couch, and he's watching the trailer, and like the Lucasfilm thing comes up, and he's just like, ugh. And then like it's like Indiana Jones, and he's like, ah, you know. And then like as it goes on, like all of a sudden, the next scene, he's like kind of like coming around to the idea, and then at one point he has his leather coat on, and then the next one he has like a whip on his lap, and the next one he has his hat on, and he's like back in. Like that's kind of how I felt. And that's it for notes, except unless you want to talk about this Dork Side Toys thing.
We'll just mention it. So Dork Side Toys is it's an online retailer for years, really big in the Star Wars community. And it appears they're meeting a similar fate to Megalopolis of late is they cancel. They don't have pre-order. They didn't have pre-orders up. They don't take PayPal anymore.
They're folding?
Yeah. And they have a lot of people's money. Apparently.
Oh, that's the problem.
And like they did a Black Friday sale, and they turn off comments on their social posts. They apparently deleted their YouTube channel completely, and now they have on a banner up that says "Last day of business is the 18th."
I mean, people can get their money back because they went through PayPal.
Well, not if it was a year and a half ago. That's the problem.
That's the. I don't know. It seems weird. It seems like a thing that big companies like PayPal or banks would take in consideration, that they can see on record that you pay for a thing
and didn't get it,
and you're not getting the thing.
Yeah.
You know, like it's
I
black and white.
It is. They've got to have a time frame though.
Yeah, but unlike Kickstarter, which is like nebulous, it's like, oh, you pay for this thing and it might come out sometime in the future, and you can't really ask for a refund because the Kickstarter is still around. Right?
You did this and you did that.
Yeah. But when you're like, I paid for this item and this company is now shutting down, I want my money back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's. I don't know. It just seems black and white to me.
And
regardless of time frame.
The way I look at this is things like that make it harder and harder for people like Crashbox to do business, right? Because I mean, people that don't know that,
right.
Yeah, you send me money, and in 2 to 4 weeks, I'm sending you a box. It gets harder and harder every time you hear about this, or you hear about like that guy that ripped a bunch of people off claiming he was going to make those 12 scale cars that never produced anything.
Right. And same with even back when customs a long time ago. Was it Ravage something? I don't know. It was a guy who paints
or Rumble Frenzy or whatever.
Yeah, that.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah,
that guy was a big name who did great work and then just
disappeared.
I mean, there's been a couple of diorama guys that have. I mean, there's a very well known diorama artist that one of our compatriots actually has some of their work, and he just literally just vanished, took a bunch of people's money. The reason I know about it is people were hitting me up asking me if I knew him.
Mm. But I mean, the difference is though, like your pre-orders isn't a long time, right? How long is your turnaround?
It says 4 to 6 weeks on the website. It's rarely been.
Yeah, and you go through PayPal. Some people are safe.
You can
with you.
Yeah, I mean that.
Like they're gonna get their money
cards,
back.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not like you pre-ordering. It's not like your stuff takes more than 6 months to go out.
Exactly.
So like at least that's like your turnaround time is under PayPal's policy.
I mean, like I was. It's funny that we were talking about this. I was thinking this. I saw an ad on Facebook, and I'm like, that reminds me. I did a Kickstarter for a watch, and I went and looked at it, and they hadn't updated it, and the comments were like, a bunch of people were like, they're not going to make this. Get your money back. This isn't going to happen,
bro.
Like, why would you go to all this trouble? Like, they created this fake product. I mean, who knows?
It sometimes it's not. I've actually watched a lot of like videos on this kind of thing because a lot of games were. A lot of games has happened. A lot of games are Kickstarted, and then people get a lot of money, and then the games never show up, or people are still hopeful and waiting for a game that was announced 7 years ago. A lot of times, it's not necessarily people who started out as scam artists. Some people have legitimate intentions to begin with, and then they just become overwhelmed and don't know how to pull out.
I mean, that's the thing. That's
or
what
they
happens.
become corrupted when they ask for $10,000 and they get millions of dollars, and then they end up blowing millions of dollars and not making the game. Then like they have no way out.
Yeah,
they fuck themselves.
Chris, I gotta admit something.
Oh boy!
Unless you got another.
No,
thought.
I was just saying I'm still fucking pissed at Joe Mad. We still don't have issue 12 and 13.
what?
Of Battle Chasers.
Oh yeah, you do.
Yeah, the
talk
game
about
came
this
out.
a fair bit.
It was 4 or 5 years ago. How long does it take to? Dude, Matt, you motherfucker, just ask the AI to do a fucking comic in your fucking style. It takes 2 fucking minutes. Go fuck yourself.
That's fair.
And take fucking Jared Leto with you.
Yes. But like it's an unfulfilled promise that people paid
No,
for.
I agree.
Not that I didn't want the game. I do want the game, but I specifically paid because I'm like, finish this fucking series.
Right.
And the fact that he said like that a few months ago, I don't have the time to do it. I'm gonna have some other artists do it. I'm like, we didn't.
That's not what I pay for.
Yeah, and that's just irresponsible. How long does it take for you to fucking stick to a commitment?
So I should ask AI to prompt a Jared Leto in Battle Chasers comic. Got it.
Jesus Christ.
Chris, I had to come clean about something.
Oh boy.
This whole show, I've been distracted.
Okay.
Because I've been like, man, I don't know how to tell him.
Uh-oh.
But it looks like FTR.
Oh, my shirt?
I don't know if he was going for a lowercase e.
No, it is FTR. It's not ETR.
Well, I just saw the AEW logo in the bottom right. I just saw it like 30 seconds ago, and I was like, it's not ETR.
It's FTR.
It's something completely different.
And the whole show, I've been like, and thinking to myself, is this one of those moments, Bobby, that's a test to you? Do you need to give him your opinion on it?
So
is it necessary to tell him how you feel about this shirt?
So Matt H, I need to make sure Matt H knows because he's a huge FTR fan. FTR is a tag team,
okay,
that currently holds the IWGP Tag Team Championships, the AAA Tag Team Championships, and the Ring of Honor Championships.
They fucking tow cars too.
And then last night they challenged for the AEW Tag Team Championships and lost in a phenomenal match. But yes, this is FTR, which could stand for many things, but it's probably they're naming it in WWE.
Fuck the Roosevelts, am I right?
Hang on, you're not far off.
Wow,
I don't mean that. I don't know.
Wow.
Hang on, I haven't got to that documentary yet.
You're not far off because their name they were in WWE and their name was The Revival, and they themselves started a Twitter hashtag FTR, fuck the Revival, and then basically that just wandered into being their fucking tag team.
Well, I think actually that Roosevelt was kind of a tough guy. Like I think I would
which Roosevelt? There's
Teddy.
2 of them.
Teddy was a wild man.
Yeah,
you know he was all tatted up.
Yeah, I think I would respect him. So I want to make sure that I'm not.
Isn't he the reason why we have like fucking national forest and shit?
Yep.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, so I just thought it
Fuck
was
the
funny.
other Roosevelt. We don't know what he did.
I did it for the punchline. I just want to let everybody know I did it.
But
for
it
the
would be a
punchline.
great ETR ripoff logo.
Yeah, because it looks like the same, like the old logo.
Yeah, just cover up the
All right.
Thanks for admitting that, Bobby.
ETR does that kind of stuff. Where they
We
take
do.
the old style and give,
Yeah, we did at least.
Yeah,
We should probably
dude.
get somebody to make some.
Hove did. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Seth Builds. He says, "I think stormtroopers are terrible at sex, always missing the target. Am I right?" He said, "What the fuck is up, Spell Table? Hope all the homies are doing well and all the people homie adjacents are as well. I'm recovering rare pieces of plastic and resin as my truck was broken into at a gunpla competition in LA. It's always a tad bit annoying tracking down something, and it came to my realization I had bought one model kit because of extenuating circumstances. Once at the release when P. Bandai ran out of pre-orders after I had reserved it, once again before the Panini... which is he calls the Bud Ice, the pandemic, the Panini. In Japan, closed its orders, and my order was canceled by the seller. Third time was at the con in LA, and the fourth was the weekend after the con when the kit was stolen. Has there ever been anything that you have purchased multiple times because of certain factors? To add on to this, I have purchased Dark Souls and Skyrim on PS, Switch, Xbox, PC, and Skyrim Alexa.
Yes.
Much love to all across the nerd realm. Almost forgot, since we have not stabled this subject but have not brought it up in a bit, I stand for the flag, but I sit down to wipe. When the standing, tried the standing, it does not work for me. I am in the 0.01% performing athlete, and my expertise requires me to have a big back and lats. And when I try to stand, the worst fucking cramps of my life occur in my lats. Bye for real this time.
Yeah, no, he's a very, very, very strong power lifter.
Is he?
Yeah. Is he really?
Yeah. So, I can tell you something that's interesting. I have bought Black Series C-3PO countless fucking times because I've needed them for different diorama shelves.
Yeah.
And so I've ended up buying that figure 1,000 fucking times.
Legitimately, what, 5 or 6?
I'd had to go out and you guys do it. I'm gonna go out and count.
Bobby's gonna go count.
So I have Skyrim 3 times. I bought Skyrim 3 times. I've I don't know how to remember what Final Fantasy 7. I have the original. I have PS3, PS4. I have the PSP. I had one of my phones, I believe. Yeah, I bought Final Fantasy 7 like every time it came out.
Wow.
I love that
game. I'm trying to think of anything I've bought multiple times.
I know Zuvio.
Zuvio, obviously Zuvio. I don't know if Army builds count or not, but I tell you what, I've bought, and I'll joke inside, I've bought those Coruscant Night books 3 times because I bought them digitally. I had a copy, and I want to say I loaned it to somebody, and they're just like, you know what, it's not worth chasing them around for these 3. Then I bought them digitally, and then I bought another copy in red, and then of course Bobby has that now.
I bought a few copies of book 4 of the Dark Tower series because it keeps coming out in different format before I got the one I wanted.
So what's the count, Bobby?
8.
Wow.
It's a lot of C-3POs.
Do you have a red arm? You have a red arm? You have, yeah. And there was a Walgreens exclusive for a while at one point.
I have a bandolier. I have silver leg, gold leg. So here's another thing I've bought countless times: albums. I've probably bought Thriller 5 or 6 times. I've bought
pump those numbers up.
I've bought Wu-Tang Enter the 36 Chambers 5 or 6 times probably. I bought Black Moon's Enter the Stage probably 2 or 3 times, like just from like wearing Nas's Illmatic, just from like wearing the disc, setting it down here, setting it everywhere out, and then like, man, this shit's all scratched up. I got to get another one. Like I've done that more times than I care to admit.
I probably bought stuff that had on cassette on, the same with VHS and DVD. Mm-hmm. I probably bought the original Star Wars trilogy like more times than I should have. I don't know where any of them are.
My dad had a gold box from the VHSs.
Nice,
like with a half Vader head, and the box splits open, and there's 3 tapes in there. I remember that very specifically.
Next one is Sean W. of fucking Star Wars trilogy. I bought the THX. I bought the anniversary. I bought the fucking DVDs. I bought the Blu-rays. I bought the Blu-ray box set. I'll buy the 4K when it comes out.
You better go through all of them and look for goddamn
Yaddle. I'm on a Yaddle hunt. Hop back into Yaddle. You know what I mean? Sean W. writes in and says, "Hey, Nerd Ragers, this may sound like the setup to a joke, but it's not. I was actually in that original Pepsi Jet commercial. Feel free to hit the flex button."
What?
At 29 seconds into the below video, I'm the kid with the glasses who gets hit with the flying piece of paper.
Oh, we have to watch.
We
have to watch this.
All right, so it's an ad. Fucking YouTubers and their bullshit ads. Am I right?
Well, we can't all afford YouTube
fucking
Red.
Peasants over here.
Like,
yeah, you can all afford YouTube Red. I don't want to hear it.
No, it's not worth it.
All right, so here he is coming up. Oh, I think we just missed him. Let's see.
Introducing the new Pepsi Stuff catalog.
So he is.
He said at 29 seconds.
Yeah, I can't really tell. He said he's the one in glasses.
Maybe it's the next scene.
No, it's this one. Yeah,
okay. Well,
but there you are.
Wild.
There you are.
That is wild.
I'm the kid with the glasses who gets hit with the flying piece of paper that went by. He says, as a child extra, I was only supposed to receive $75 for the day of shooting, but I was apparently so prominently in frame that they sent me residual checks for a few months afterwards.
Wow.
I assumed that was the reason. No one ever told me I'd be receiving them.
I mean, you probably didn't question as a kid.
Every time the commercial aired, I got like $1 and change or something, and it aired so often that when all was said and done, it came out to be a couple $100. Dude. But I never got to see myself on TV. Every time I caught the commercial, it was shortened. It was the shortened version that cut my shot out. I checked, and it's the same version Netflix uses in the documentary. I never even realized a longer version exists until YouTube came along. That's why I'm a Coke man, because to this day, I imagine some Pepsi executive saying, "Get that ugly little fuck out of my commercial."
That's great.
What a fascinating
What a
story.
small fucking world, man.
Garinger writes in and says, to clarify to Joe and Chris, since they seem to want to know about the story I mentioned last week. When I was about 10, my dad convinced my mom to move to Colorado. He decided that he would come out and look for work and a place for the family to live. That's the story I was told anyway. I do believe there was more to it. Anyway, we got here and were staying with my uncles, but it was decided by them that there were not enough room in the apartment for everyone, and I was told to sleep in a broken down old camper shell, the kind that have a bathroom and such. It did not have heat or water, and I would go days without seeing my dad. Mostly for food, I would eat at the school weekdays, and I would help a gas station across the street from the apartment. cleaning and picking up trash in exchange for food on the weekends.
That's fucking wild.
My uncle's girlfriend would let me come into the apartment when everyone else was gone about once a week to shower. At the time, though, I was top of the world shit 10 years old and already had my own place. It was great. I did not really think of how bad it could have been until I was older. That's how I spent that winter. And in my mom's defense, she had no idea what was going on until my dad went to prison years later.
Jesus.
Well, now I need the prison story, John.
Bro, like can we get an autobiography, please?
On another subject, I finally watched Thor 4 and 7 years ago.
Yeah, I haven't seen that shit.
To express my thoughts on it as briefly as possible, I canceled my Disney Plus account the next day.
Wow. That's strong.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is wild, dude.
Interesting life.
James G. Story time, gentlemen. We got a lot of stories this week. I know this missed the after Thanksgiving show, but I made a mistake and went to the local watering hole the day before Turkey Day, and of course ran into some old friends. One of them I've been friends with K through 12 and was in town with his new in-laws. Now, he was that typical rich kid growing up. Anyhow, he's into Jeeps now, like the super ridiculous isn't everything we don't understand ridiculous rock climbing in the desert Jeeps. I got a buddy that does that too. His brother-in-law shows me a picture of Frank. Frank is a super lifted black and white Wrangler with, you guessed it, Punisher skulls all around.
Great.
Then his wife goes, "This is Natasha," and shows me a gray and black newer Rubicon with pink Black Widow stickers. I ask, so you're Marvel fans, and start asking them how they come to love the characters. Old war journal comics, story arcs. They looked at me like I was from another country. They only got into Marvel recently with the Netflix Punisher and Avengers movies. Did I mention he's a cop and she's a children's dance instructor and really identifies with the characters, quote unquote?
That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing.
He says, I was culturally appropriated and I didn't like it. Next year I'll stay home and drink alone like an adult. Has this ever happened to you? Stay classy.
It is hard being as deep into this shit as we are to, the goal of this shit is to gain new audience members. And if the Netflix Punisher is how you found this, then more power to you. But it's hard to be in that situation and be like, and not be the actually guy at the bar. Nobody wants there.
Or the eye roller.
Yeah.
I have it wasn't culturally appropriated. It was just like one of those we don't like this the same way incidents revolving mopping. I'm going to pause this to tell the story just to get your guys' reactions. Hold on. And I was disgusted. Like, as opposed to see you later.
Oh, that's awful.
No, that's...
And I was like, every bit of respect I had, like, I just wanted to get out of the place and just yell, "Fuck you!"
Oh, wow.
Yikes.
Anyway, I can tell that story on Patreon, James, but not here. So next one is from Ernest. First of all, I want to thank you on saving Christmas.
Are you the new Ernest or the old Ernest?
And he says, Nazis in a high school.
Oh.
Your discussion this week on Nerd Rage reminded me of a documentary about this crazy incident in high school.
What the fuck did we talk about?
I think it was, we were comparing Nazi Germany to the Empire. Star Wars.
Okay.
He said about this crazy incident in high school in 1967. In an effort to teach his students about how Nazis were able to rise in Germany, a teacher came up with a social experiment called the Third Wave.
Yeah, I've read about this before. Yeah.
It quickly spiraled out of control. In a short time, it spread to the point where students from other schools were joining and trying to attend. It ended with the teacher being fired, emotionally damaged students, and the book the teacher wrote about the experience is required reading in German schools. Here's the trailer, and here's a link to the documentary on Amazon. I'm definitely going to check this out.
I think I've seen the documentary. I think I've watched the documentary. I've either watched the documentary or like a 30-minute YouTube about it.
I wonder if it's free on Amazon. Dude, thank you. We'll check that out.
It's fucking wild. Humans are wild. Humans are very programmable and predictable.
Brian D.
Like AI.
Brian D. writes in, hey, fellas, your choice if you would like to read it live. We'll go ahead. Hey, NRR crew, I swear we have good days. I fucking swear it. On the 17th of November, Brandy and Aiden, your youngest listener, been listening since the womb, were in a head-on collision. And Brandy is, of course... Aiden has more emotional damage than physical. Brandy has both. She had her C7 fractured, severe sprains on both ankles, knees, and wrists, plus the damage from the airbag. God bless. She isn't paralyzed forever. However, she's extremely weak. I know this is probably way outside the normal scope, but it would help us immensely if you could share the link to get people to see it and help. That would be amazing. I'm trying to get as much traction as possible. So he's a GoFundMe. I will share that in the notes. And it says, Brandy also has a request for each of you. She would like to hear y'all's version of her email clip that is played at the end of each show. She heard this week's show and inevitably hear the voice on the show and laughed when they caused her a fair amount of pain. She said that it would only be fair if the boys were to do the sexy voice from the email clip. She did say this with a smile on her face, but I do believe she is hopeful that y'all will come through once again.
Of course.
I wish I could reach out with better news. Just know that I have been with y'all since the beginning, and I'll share this. I'll share this everywhere, and I'm really sad to hear it. So
that's a bummer. Sorry, bro.
Does anybody want to? Take a step first. Here's the question. Here's the question, because it does raise a question. Are we supposed to do this in the sexy female voice, or are we supposed to do this in what we would do as a sexy male voice?
This is top 5 territory. You do whatever you interpret. You got to play the original.
Yeah. Play the original.
Then here's the original.
You can email us at nerdrageradiomail@gmail.com.
Who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Joe.
Go for it, Joe.
I have to remember what the words are.
It doesn't matter what the words are. It's about the form.
You can email us at nerdrageradiomail@gmail.com.
I'll go next.
That shit sound weird as fuck coming out of you.
You can email us.
Come on, game
You
face.
can email us at nerdrageradiomail@gmail.com.
All right, so I'm going.
Love it.
I can't wait for this shit to get chopped up by one of you hooligans.
I am going to try to do
Are you
this.
doing 8 Mile? You putting your hood on?
I was hoping I could get it over my eyes so I didn't have to look at either one. I am going to try to do this. I'm going to try to impersonate her.
Oh, okay.
Oh, boy.
All right. Let me listen.
I want to look at you.
I'm going to listen one more time.
You can email us at nerdrageradiomail@gmail.com.
All right, here we go. I'm covering my eyes. You can email us at nerdrageradio@gmail.com.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, man. Should we do it in sync? Should we do all
Can
3
we?
of us?
On 3. 1, 2, 3. You can email us at nerdrageradio@gmail.com.
Notice the email address is wrong, so you guys can't chop that up and use it. Hope you feel better.
Yeah. Here's to a speedy recovery. The note will be there, and I'll share it across my platforms today.
You should just clip the whole segment out for your Bobby Skullface channel with no explanations. The tag of the radio, the title of the radio email is how to email us.
I hope you're listening to it on your phone at work, and somebody who you don't really talk to that much at work came by and heard just that part.
Yeah, all of it. They stood outside and heard all 3 of us.
But not the explanation before.
No. Just out of context.
All right, so Vex writes in. He says, great show, Ragers, reflection time. All questions pertain to 2022. Do you think you made any growth this year in your craft? Do you think you have plateaued out? Do you think you've made improvements? What are the futures for 2023? What are plans?
Oh, wow.
I mean, I started Blender, so I could have only gotten better.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you didn't say it, I was going to say it. I mean, it's, insane growth, so to speak.
My 2D art, though, has completely plateaued because I stopped practicing.
Yeah.
I did doodle some, but I did not take the effort like I did last year to get better, so it did not get better.
I'd say I improved because I learned how to do some new stuff in the software that I use, which has improved productivity more than anything. For next year, I'm going to explore some different fandoms to try to market my stuff to. I've got some things on the horizon that I'm working on that I think will be more outside of the current breadth of my customer base.
Oh, that would be cool. I'm always excited to see you venture out. We've talked about this at length, but I'm always excited to, I know that what you do has to be mass produced. So you have to think about it within a construct, and I'm always, I always look forward to when you get to let your hair down, so to speak.
Hey, now.
So I don't know if I improved on. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I don't know if I improved on anything. I think maybe I improved as an interviewer. Like if I listen to like the guy, the Netflix guys, like and some of like the third party artists and stuff that I've interviewed this year, like I may have improved there. I think I've improved as a podcast host. You know, between this and then the shows on Patreon, like, you know, people really, it resonates. Like, this show that we started doing recently on Patreon, and it's called The Kitchen Table, and it's just talking about, you know, professional stuff, and it's like people are loving it, you know, capital L. So like that makes me think that maybe I've improved there, if not in what I do in conceptualizing what to do.
Yeah.
Producing.
Yeah. Next year,
You touched on that a little bit.
yeah, I plan on doing a lot more kind of like behind the curtain stuff for more intimate audiences.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it. But you know, that's a lot of trust to ask of viewership to like not share it, and you know, the circle of trust on Patreon is a thing. Yeah, that's it. Anybody else? They got anything for next year or anything aside from your Rainbow Work? I guess you're gonna just continue with.
I just keep doing Blender.
Yeah. Let's see, and then our last one, Paul C. He said, first, some thoughts on the Weird Al documentary. That movie was indeed wild as hell, but just as he makes parodies of songs, this is a Weird Al parody of a documentary. When looked at through that lens, I ended up appreciating that movie so much more. Now, after that additional clarity on the movie, my question, now that we have gotten through No Nut November, though I'm sure none of you participated, what is the most profound post-nut clarity you've ever had?
Paul, you're a mess. That's what I said afterwards.
Can't top that, bro.
Boy, that just kind of naturally came out. No, that's what I said.
Man, I don't know. I think mine is more so about like oh no, never mind. I do.
It's just utility for me. So like I use it all the time, and I just make better decisions in general afterwards. So I can't remember any specific one.
I want with the comedy. So.
I'm gonna tell mine. It's not necessarily any one thing specifically. I am a freak. Like the shit that I think about doing, fantasize about doing, whatever it would be appalling to some. And there are times
Appalling. We're all over you today, Paul.
so to speak. There are times where I am like, I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to talk her into this, and we're going to do this, and I think it's going to be fucking hot.
Yeah, pissing the
and
ass
I'll nut. And I'll be like, we're not doing that. We're not doing that at all. That is a huge mistake. Not going to do it. And so
then the thought doesn't come back up again, though, because I've had that.
Yeah, the next time.
Yeah, right.
But or it could be worse.
Yeah. Like I do the thing, and I'm like, oh, it could be gross, but then you do it again.
Yeah.
We buy body armor.
You fucking do the no preparation butt sex. You got poo on your dick, and like, oh no, and then you do it again.
No preparation.
Is that what preparation?
Preparation J. I just got another email. I just want to make sure that we're good. So shout out to the rest of the Nerve Race team. Shout out to Phil on Twitter. We're gonna skip that today. It's getting a little late. In our notes, shout out to Dante on Facebook. Shout out to Ricky Tiki Timber on the videos and Raul on Instagram. I also want to say that someone that I know this week got some fantastic news.
Oh, nice.
And I want to say to that person, you were the happiest, and I'm sure your immediate family, but I was right there next in line. I promise you.
I was as well in the Safeway parking lot.
And I'm also considering that person to be part Capricorn now. So there's that.
I don't know what that means.
I get it.
Anyway, shout out to the rest of the Cool Table. As far as I'm concerned, if you listen to this, you're part of the Cool Table as well. Hope I didn't forget anybody. And with that,
Flappy labias.
Tasty taint.
tight dick player.